We are live now with the first map of ETF2L Highlander Season 20. This is the Premiership Grand Final to decide who will be the #1 team in Europe. SDCK are in the blue, they are attacking first, and Feila eSports on their map choice are in the red, they'll be defending. So SDCK will be trying to set a time as fast as possible, capturing as many points. They can capture the E point at any time during the game, and that is when the time is set. And Feila eSports will be trying to beat that time. And this is, of course, going to be a best of 3, so we could be here for a long time, Jake.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting game indeed, and we'll see how the blue team here, SDCK, will try to attack the first point. So far, so good. They're just moving on to A point without any contestation there. Seems that Feila eSports is opting not to put any bodies there, not even risking anybody to check if there's a lot of people there to go, and Poker is now going to rotate to a spawn point, which means they're going to try to rush B right after that. They're waiting for a good opportunity to strike. They managed to get Kazarok, so no sneaky headshots from that sniper man. And now Carpi is gonna move into that lobby area. Maybe there's a Mezzo there. He's gonna get sniped as well. And there's no split classes for the blue team. They're slowly peeking their way in. SDCK Jekka is gonna fall down as well. And now is a choice for the blue team whether they want to put.
Try to get other players in, but they just couldn't. Joe taking the high ground here actually does take down May. So, you know, the sentry's been moved back here by Lily, just moving it back a little bit to try and get a bit of space, but Nubby's gone down as well. And yeah, it looks like they're just going to try and strong arm this, Jake. They're just trying to get people in for a force.
And it seems that Roboprod is just kind of hanging out on E point. There's not much happening there, as there are 2 picks on the side of blue here. They managed to pick up Adye there. And Clark is going to get traded off. Yahoo is charging in. There's a sentry gun by Lily built up. Is going to tank so much damage. And that sentry gun is still alive. Finally going down to Newbie. Now is the blue team pushing on, but not before they lose their heavy weapons. Guyuber is going out. Urgadu flashing everyone around. And so is the red one. T-Burden is leading the charge on this one. Trying to catch up the medic. He does get him. But Burden is going to go down there. And Layla survives, which is a good trade here. Jackie Legs jumping onto Layla. He gets there. He gets her with the last fadeaway rocket. And it's just a complete mayhem going on the second point, but it seems the blue team is in control with those massive, long respawns for the red team. They will have to wait it out in spawn and possibly look at the defense of the C or E.
Yeah, huge plays there. Kazarok actually running the Huntsman, gets the kill onto Joe, onto the demo, which is such an important class on this map overall. But Jackie there with the huge bomb, just the last clutch rocket to take down Layla. A great play by him. And that does mean Gedu has this huge advantage now, about 30%. Carpi going down to the headshot from the Huntsman. It's just going to open things up in this connector, Jake. I think they're going to barrel on through, and it's going to be hard for Feila to try and defend C point.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough choice here. Gedu has 30% advantage over Layla since he died much earlier. Now May is just going to forge his way through the E point. Decides not to go there too hard. Gedu is now hanging out in the lobby of the rest of his team as well. Newbie is kind of scoping out the area. Layla doesn't have nowhere near that Uber charge as Gedu does. They can pop at any time. Jumping in is Newbie. They're not afraid. Mezzo is camping out as well. Uber charge going out of the medic. Gedu is flashing everybody to get it fade as fast as possible. Now C-point slowly getting capped. Maybe Layla will get the Uber charge in time. Maybe not. They need to get on point now, CJ.
Yeah, they actually are going to maybe get this cap. Feila want to block this. Are they going to get the cap? This is going to be so important. They do! And Feila, using this Uber, are going to clear up everyone, including Gedu. But the fact that that C cap went down, we're talking about less than a second here. The fact that that C point has gone down means that they cannot hold on this side of the map anymore because it's opened up so many doors. It does look like we've got to pause so we can catch our breath here for a second. But because that C cap's gone down, Jake, the bridges are now going to extend, as you can see, on E point, which means every class on the blue team can now get access to that point. Before now, it was only classes who could jump like a soldier or a demo, or even like a pyro with the power jack and, you know, something like the detonator. But now anyone can get onto the E point, which gives us so much more accessibility. And that Uber use does mean they have an advantage here, but it's going to be difficult for them to actually hold this ground successfully if SDCK start throwing bodies at them.
Yeah, exactly. And there's one more curious thing that I want to mention, CJ, is that you can see that Kazarok is running the Huntsman, and many people do think that, you know, running a Huntsman in staple thing. He will always run that Huntsman on steel. The only reason for it is that it has a lot of narrow quarters, it's very easy to spam around the corners, and you will most likely and it can still headshot, so you will still get the damage off. It's just such a underused weapon that this is probably the only map in the entire game that you can use it and use it effectively, and Kazarok is the man who can use it. Other than that, it seems that, you know, SDCK is kind of rolling over Feila right now. It's three and a half almost minutes into the game. 3 points already capped, 2 left, and E point is wide open for them to take. So now the question is whether they will be able to get it free of charge and with dry Ubers, or Layla's gonna get her Uber charge earlier and then just simply defend the point for a long time. You know, we've witnessed many times that last point can take up to 10 minutes.
Yeah, it really does depend. I mean, you see what Feila are doing right now. Their combo's moving to this area we call the White Room, and this is where SDCK are trying to get their bodies in, but they can't. This is such a big choke point. They've lost 3 players here, and the fact that Layla has her They're rotating here, Jake. They want to go for the D point, get that high ground to get some cap on the next point.
Yeah, it's probably a smart idea as the red team is holding the lobby. Now they're slowly rotating. May is going to lead the charge. Uber charge, I do believe, is ready on the side of Layla. And Gedu is slowly getting his. There's Dude putting up a lot of spam in that corner. They're going to catch up Joe and UFC. Uber's coming out of both sides. And now they're slowly floating away towards the Mayhem, trying to block off the players from entering D point, but D is slowly getting capped. Actually, not slowly at all. There's so much spam going on, so many bodies, and they do get the capture. SDCK just rolling the alphabet, and now the last letter to capture is the letter E.
Yeah, I mean, they've got so many kills here. There is a sentry from Lily, but it does go down eventually. Mezzo there just timing it to make sure that he can go for the sentry and the sap and go for the NG at the same time as his team pushes it. You just take a look at the respawns. They now, because that decap has gone down, it means the east side spawn is locked down. They can't come out and get straight access to the point. They have to go all the way around the map to even get close to blocking that E point. Roboprod going down there to the stickies of Nubby. It's going to be very, very hard for even to get close there. They are trying to pressure from the BC connector, but Poker is hiding. He gets a ton of damage down, and now Jackie Legs is there. The Uber's going to come in, and this surely is going to be it as Layla and Joe both go down. They just need to get their bodies on the point now, Jake, and they're going to get the cap. I was going to say, there's one thing on this map that is the most criminal thing you can do is to drop your demo in the Uber. And Feila had this advantage. I said they were comfortable in White Room, and they basically moved from one side of White Room to the other to try and defend D point, and then there was an exchange going on with SDCK. And in that situation, SDCK know that all they need to do is kill more players than they lose, and their respawns are going to be so much faster, 20 seconds faster per player. Yep. Right? All that Feila need to do is spam that point, make them flash the Uber and keep their players alive. And what happens? Joe gets dropped from that Uber, no demo man. They don't have that spam potential, and SDCK are able to just kite it out, move around, and they just swarmed. It was like locusts swarming over their prey. 539 is on the faster side, Jake, and I think we're going to see one of those pushes that you like to see from Feila.
Oh, I mean, they don't really have a choice here. 5.5 minutes is not a long time. You'd have to have as much of a good performance as SDCK had. And they didn't really stop between points. They weren't really wasting any time. All the pushes were successful, but now the gates are gonna go down. Jackie Leg is gonna put some spam into there, and Kazarok with that Huntsman as well. He gets no one as he gets reflected by T-Bird, and that's, ladies and gentlemen, how you deal with it. Crits coming out of the blue team. They're looking for a kill. They get Clark. It seems that the Uber charge has been popped by the medic on the other side. Joe NFG is rotating to the top of the stairs. He's doing so much damage. He's going to get cleaned up by Poker here, and that was a cheeky play, but didn't quite work out there, CJ, and they have lost that advantage that they had.
I don't know. I mean, they get Clark. If they would, they're wasting time here. If they'd managed to get some spam on that sentry, they could have maybe taken it down while Clark was dead. But he's respawned now. He's going to have his sentry sort of well protected. But there is the call coming in. Mezzo was called the fact that Feila, they're rotating through A and they're going to go towards E. And they have an advantage check because they got that exchange. Crit spills faster. They're at 85% right now, 25 ahead of Gedu on the Uber. And Feila might actually be able to do this if they get a fat crits off it. It's going to be on Joe. He uses the crits. He gets into the connector but doesn't get anything.
Oh, this is scary though. JodyFC is just charging in. Well, the Uber charge fades. JodyFC didn't get anyone, and that sentry is still available. And it seems that Gedu's going to get his Uber charge ready and will be able to defend this point with that Uber charge. Now they go. Newbie charging in. Mezzo as well. May leading the charge. Here trying to get T-Burden is pushing away. Everybody again barely survives. No, he finally gets cleaned up. There's just a lot of mayhem going on. It seems that the team red is now missing 4 players, and that's a pretty big discount here for the side of blue to get that E point quite easily. Middle is holding this spawn. And it seems that Scout here, Dreamy, trying to get some cap off, but that sentry and so many red bodies in the connector means that they will not be able to get it anytime soon. I think the blue team has finally realized as Feila are back in the way.
Yeah, Kazarok's trying to get some space in BC Connector, but look at Lily. Lily has managed to get a sentry up in the area we call Heaven. There is a level 3 sentry and there's a teleporter. So these respawns are coming in. Mezzo does take down Layla, so huge advantage for SDCK. But pressure from Feila is actually really, really hard to deal with, and they need to deal with this sentry. Because look, Dreamy and Roboprod, 2 of the most mobile classes, they're on the point, getting some cap time down. It does cap a lot slower because of the fact that you don't have as many points capped already. But there is pressure here from SDCK that, you know, they're keeping him at bay for the time being, but all it takes is a bad exchange and they have to use the Uber Jake.
Yeah, here Layla finally respawned, managed to rejoin the team, but there's Jackie Legs pestering that engineer. Lily finally finishing off Jackie Legs, but gets headshot there by Kazarok, who's back on the sniper rifle. Newbie is below all the blue players. Look how many blues are up there in the rafters, in the window room. With that teleporter's help, they're going to be able to resupply themselves on this point. By the time goes down, and it seems that JodyFC has created on the staircase. Didn't quite manage to get the jump right here. Layla will low on health. Nuber charge on her side, and she's all by herself. That doesn't look very good for Feila eSports as they're losing time. 2.5 minutes to go. Jumping on the point is the engineer Lily. Dreamy's on the mezzo there. They lose their snipers. A lot of exchanges going on, but seems that they've finally managed to recuperate. Jackie Legs is behind Layla, but he doesn't see her. Oh, that's so dangerous. He jumps in and misses the job. That's a pit kill.
I mean, actually, Feila aren't doing too badly. Karpi getting the big kill onto Gedu, but it's Kazarok who is almost single-handedly right now. He's on about a 4. He's just killing everybody. Kazarok is just popping off. He's destroying heads, and he's just stopping people from having any sort of calm or control on this E point. And Feila have had their bodies here. They've used the crits on a pyro, but T-Borden's just kind of not much he can do with it there. And Feila not getting time on the point. They have to start getting time on the point now. But the problem is, in that BC connector, you have a soldier, you have a heavy, you have a sentry being wrangled. It's so hard to deal with. But middle does take down Kazarok. He's actually holding down the spawn. This may be Feila's last chance to get something out of this round.
Yeah, time is tick-tock ticking here. Roboprod is jumping in, trying to clear some space. Clark is just relentless with those sentries. Finally, he goes down alongside his silly toys. And finally, Roboprod is kind of on that Vanguard to 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. T-Burden low in health, gets some arrows from Layla on the point. She's missing the second one. She's aiming some more, but it's very difficult to dodge the bullets and aim. Layla is just standing still. So many people from the spawn, but they're sitting on the point. T-Burden is the only one who is trying to keep the dream alive. Roboprod is trying to as well lock down this lobby area. Joined by Dreamy is basically, well, swapping T-Burden on the point. So close, gets so far. Where's the red team, CJ?
I mean, Mezzo somehow gets onto the point. I don't know if he surfed or jumped or what happened there, but he got onto the point and blocked it for long enough that he's buying time. Feila are actually in a really good position here. They have control of the spawn. They have Roboprod and Agi on the point. No, they go down. Huge rockets from Jackie Legs. It's going to do enough damage to stop the time, but they're just throwing Lily and gets the mini sentry jump over there. Actually, Joe gets a couple of kills, really important kills, but without cap time, there's not much they can do. SDCK look like they may have held on here.
Yeah, and that was barely. That was just so close. 8 seconds to go and not many blue players available. T-Burden with RoboProd and the lobby connector, but they already know it's not gonna work out. And SDCK captured themselves the first point in this gauntlet of games. As they just been, you know, it was very close. I have to give it to Feila. It was incredibly close. They could have had it, but they lacked that last bit of resolve that is very needed when the situation gets rough and heated, and you just need to stay calm and collected and communicate well and get those picks, because there, SDCK just kind of waited it out, waited for all the respawns to come in as they've been losing and bleeding players all over that E point, and then just moved in as a force, and that is what saves SDCK the first point in this match.
I think they started off really well there. That crits onto B, they managed to get the force. That is all they really needed, was to get the force out of the Uber. They get the force out of the Uber. They actually kill Clark. They actually kill Kazarok, so 2 very important classes on this map are killed. They do the rotation, they get onto A, they crits into BC Connector, and they don't get anything done. And that was the first issue with the way that they were playing. But the biggest problem, Jake, was the lack of adaptation to anything that was going on in the game. Because they had people locking down the spawns, and they had the same players jumping on the E point to try and get the cap time, but the entire game, Clark and Poker and Nubby and Jackalex, they were all in that BC connector, and all you need to do to defend an AE push is just to kill the people capping, because there's only about 3 classes that can do it. And if you kill those people capping, it doesn't matter what the rest of the other team are doing, as long as you kill those cappers. And Layla died a number of times, and I would have taken that opportunity to go Uber, and then taken that Uber on the E point really deep into the BC connector to stop those people from killing the cappers on the point. But they didn't. They just stayed on E. They had control of E, but SDCK were more than happy to let them have control. And that was the big failing here. And it'd be interesting to see, Jake, whether they try to go for another AE push, or they decide to take things a little bit more slowly and a little bit more methodically for this second round.
CJ, you just Bob Ross the entire situation to me. It was beautiful.
Bob Ross it. I like that. Is that a phrase, or did you just coin that?
I just made it up. It's just painting a picture with words. I mean, that's what we do. We paint a picture with words. And newbie, as you can see, SDCK are not sleeping. They are making their way with the crit streak, just setting up those traps, maybe trying and hoping to catch anybody off guard. I don't think it's happening that often anymore, but you know, you never know. You really just kind of hope for the best when you go through these corridors, because you can't always see all the sticky traps, and you always make sure that the medic is in the back, because when that happens to a medic with a fully charged Uber, there's no worse feeling. Is like your soul is departing from your body through the feet, you know? It just, that's kind of the feeling that you get.
Into the ground. I've seen Eames on my team back when I was playing. He managed to get a 6k against Feila eSports, actually. They dropped the medic, dropped the NG who was carrying a level 3 sentry, and killed 4 other players as well. So, I mean, it can work. You can catch people out. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. Like, they are actually going to be using crits again, and this time they're prepared for it. Yahoo goes in deep, takes down Joe, takes down Carpi. That did not go as successful as the last time.
This is the thing, like, you said it last round, you just have to adapt, and this time around they knew, okay, you're running crits, we have our spy checking out your medigun, you haven't changed it, we're just gonna use our Uber charge in your face and have Yahoo man the guns here. And you know, knowing Yahoo, and obviously you know him much better than I do, is that he is a pirate that just doesn't take no for an answer. He just goes in, and he doesn't know, you know, hell or high water, he's just gonna go in W+M1 and burn everybody to the ground. And now Layla slowly picking that Uber charge or Crit Streak back again. Ghetto is slightly ahead because of that kill, but they're moving towards the E point yet again through the lobby. Dreamy's gonna have a little bit of trouble from Jackalex Crater, and finally he's gonna get burned down by T-Burden, who's running the Phlogistonator.
I do have to say, it's probably an 80% chance that, oh, actually, Layla, she's weak, and she's running away, and the Uber's actually used by SDCK, and they almost caught out Layla. I'm not sure if she realized people were chasing her there.
That's a crit streak, though. That's a crit streak save, and no Uber charge on the other side. That could potentially be an insanely good play. RoboProd on the point already. The sentry has been sapped by the spy. Very well done here by Adie. And now the sentry is up by the blue team on the red spawn as well. It seems that Lily is doing an amazing job. Kristrick coming out of Joan UFC, looking to take a few kills in the connector. He misses one, but he gets another. That's two. And he's chasing the medic. Well, Gedu needs to get away from this situation. Oh, he misses though. He turns around, just misses the medic completely. Where is Gedu? He's alive still. Oh, maybe not for much longer. Adi is on top of the case. Missing a couple of shots here. Maybe gets a stab. Yep, he does. Face shank. It goes into face of the medic for the red team. And that gives Layla a nice, comfortable advantage going to the E-point push. However, not... well, I don't see anybody on the E-point now, CJ.
No, I mean... Lily's trying to get a sentry up. There is a teleporter. Middle is there as well. They're doing exactly the same as they did before. And I'm just trying to find... Layla on my screen. She's still on the crit streak. Again, I would have taken an opportunity to maybe go Uber, but wow, T Borden is going to get 3 kills with the Phlogistonate, and not even crit kills. He should have his oomph charge now. You know, the crit's ability on the flog, surely. Actually, jakeowaty is going to come in, might get caught out here. And this is actually huge because with T Borden having that crit, he's actually going to activate it now. He's going to run in, might catch Nubby. Nubby sees him. But there's not much that can be done there. They've all run away. And now SDCK are aware they actually have to get some pressure down because Layla nearly has that crit streak.
It's a wild card, that Phlogistonate, but it's working out so far. Adi trying to make his way through the connector, but it's so tightly packed with red bodies, it's going to be very difficult for the Spy to make his way through. Crits coming out, and that's double for middle. He's looking for more, slowly ripped up. Everyone's just running away as fast as they can, but now Gedu on 100% ready to go. They may be able to catch Middle and Layla off guard. Oh, Middle's gonna sacrifice himself, run into the enemies. Now Adi's gonna get burned down. Seems that Layla is away and alive, but nobody around her to support should anybody come knocking. And it seems that E-Point's already halfway done. That sentry is still alive by Lilypad. It's gonna go down now, thanks to the sniper. And, well, it seems good so far for Feila eSports, but not enough bodies on the E-Point yet again. That's the same problem as last round. They're tossing them now, but it's a little bit too late.
Yeah, I don't want to say I'm the brainiest person of all time, but pretty much exactly what I said was happening last time is happening again. Layla goes down to Mezzo this time. Kazarok and Jackie have been doing so much. They went from the B-side E-spawn door, and Kazarok's just taking pot shots, took down Lily, so that sentry went down. Jackie's just spamming the point. They're just keeping the Kappas at bay. And this time, you know, Middle did try to go deep with that crit streak and did take a lot of stuff. Where was the rest of the team? Like, why was no one holding down the other spawn door? Why was no one supporting Middle to try and get more kills? I'm just not sure what everyone else is sort of doing on this point at the moment. It does look like they're trying to get B this time, Jake, and to try and maybe just spread the attention a little bit. But yeah, he's on the prowl.
Yeah, it's a bit of a big oof moment as they lose all their defenses on the E-Point blue team here. Feila eSports kind of on the back foot. They need to go all the way back to B and hope to cap it. There's so many red bodies on it already. Kazarok is scoping in, taking down Dreamy like trash. Well, that was a bit rude, wasn't it?
Whoa, Jake! Dropping the BM.
I mean, you didn't take down trash. You
take out the trash,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, I mean,
I guess.
Well, Kazarok is Kazarok does what Kazarok does best, which is basically headshot everybody that is moving on the ground. And well, he's now moving on the window. You'll be looking for another headshot. He's missing one shot. Ooh, there's a heavy weapons guy in the way. He's gonna move all the way back. B-Point zone that gets slowly capped by the blue team, and Feila finally manages to get themselves a second point in this game, but it's already past 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's not looking too good, I think is putting it mildly. They lost Layla to the pistol of May, and that doesn't mean Gedu has an advantage. They're lacking a few players. They are on the respawn queue, but if Feila were to rush BC right now, they could probably get all the way to C and cap it with very little resistance. This is kind of what you see happen when teams are defending constantly against an AE. They eventually lose the B fight, and they give up C quite happily because they prefer the white room hold over a passive C hold. So I do expect, I mean, I'm not sure. Eventually, yeah, Lily is taking charge with T Borden. They're going to capture the C point. It's going to be with no resistance. I do think SDCK are going to be quite happy to just hold here now and try to get as much time as they can from this last point, as Robopod getting in deep, actually onto Nubby, gets a lot of damage, but eventually goes down. Kazarok with the SMG. Looking at the time as it caps, Jake, 6:30, and they've just got to try and capture the E point now.
Yeah, and Gedo is on 100%, ready to go. Defenses are being built on the E point. C has been given away for free. Jumping in is Roboprod yet again. Gets a force. That's a job well done. Ledano's running away. Yahoo's on the prowl, but he's not gonna chase any more kills in this situation. He probably up to go around, and there's a lot of people around that white room there. Where is Layla? Layla is back at spawn, ladies and gentlemen, and she's been killed there. And that uber charge advantage that they had and worked themselves to the bone for is all but gone.
Yeah, Agi does take down Gedu, and because of the fact they've captured the C point now, spawns for the defensive team are up to 23 seconds. So every kill that they get in a trade, this is where Feila eSports excel, because they're happy to throw bodies in here. So they've lost 4, but they killed JakeowatyLegs. He's going to be down for 20 seconds. They're going to be respawning instantly. And I think if they keep doing this, they've got 7.5 minutes on the round timer. I think they eventually will sort of full cap this. They do have an advantage now. Carpi going down though is going to lose their pick potential. But this is the kind of thing where they were going to crits.
Crits is taking out Kazura, looking for more. Yahoo may go down there. He does. And they do pick up Mezzo as well. SDCK on the fallback. And, well, they've lost a lot of players. And I think this is the prime time for Feila to actually get something done. They do lose Joe in UFC, though. And that is just massive amount of damage off the board. Layla is just trying to edge her way back into the battlefield. Clark is going to go down. So is Newbie. Only Gedo alive and low on health with 52%. He may not get an uber charge in time to get this point saved. There's so many blue players. Nice headshot there by Carpi onto Mezzo, making sure no more spy shenanigans go in the back line. JakeowatyLegs is just charging in. He may be able to stop this point just a longer. He does get 2 kills there with the help of the scout. But he's going to go down there.
Poker's in deep as well. It's actually going to kill T. Borden. So, Layla's trying to solo cap this now. Everyone's coming in, but this is precious time they're buying. Like, this is all really precious time. 8:46, not a time you generally want to see on Steel. But that could have been closer to 8:30 or under. It wasn't for the last ditch plays there by a number of players. So it gets to that point on Steel where you've lost the game. The respawn is not in your favor. However, you just keep throwing bodies at it and just buying those extra few seconds. And how many times, Jake, over the years have we seen games decided in the last 2 or 3 seconds or less than a second? It does happen. So that extra time can be helpful, but SDCK are going to be feeling very, very happy about that. Yeah. If they just play like they did before, they're going to take this 2-0.
Yeah, and that is Feila's pick as well, so it's just not really good, smooth sailing for Feila so far. 1 point down on this map, which was their pick, definitely has a hit on the morale. So I'm just wondering how Layla and Joe decide to kind of prep up and pep talk their team, make sure that SDCK are not unbeatable. We just have to remind you guys that Feila eSports have managed to get into second place of the ETF2L League 7 times, and they've yet to win 1 title. So this is a lot riding on this game. They need to get this one in the books. If not for the title and the medals, it's for themselves improving everybody. And the first kill of the game goes here to Carpi onto Newbie. No more demo for the attackers. Very strong opening from Feila eSports as they just clean up house.
Yeah, they're just prepared. And to be fair, the last time around on B, they had a very, very strong hold. It wasn't until we started seeing some flanks coming in and some interesting plays that eventually SDCK broke this B hold. And, I see Kazarok actually on drop down, trying to take some shots. Ooh. Nearly gets taken down by the Sentry in the end. And Carpi, on a 2-kill streak now, gets taken down by Mezzo. And that's going to probably be enough for SDCK want to push in here.
JakeowatyLegs is just slowly edging in, but it's low on health, healed up by Gedu. Layla's still 100% as well. They're looking for the force. They do get the Sentry gun, however, and that's a good enough pick. A lot of damage off the battleground here. Jackie's gonna go down. Ubers are being exchanged. Juggled is Newbie, but he's not focusing on the shiny people. He's focusing on the building. Is that what you should do as a demo man? Gedu is a very comfortable position as well, safe from spam. And there's just red players falling down one by one. T-Bird and Carpi now going into an amazing headshot from Kazarok. And it seems that Layla just needs to keep running because the pressure from SDCK is immense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about that. What happened on that Uber exchange of Mezzo taking down Joe. No demo is going to be pretty hard for them to hold this connector. And you can see Nubby already trying to take that ground. I do think SDCK are probably going to be able to take this C point. It's very precarious here. Layla has just got Dreamy and Roboprod for company, and if SDCK just flood in here, they're going to be able to get some players. I'm not sure if Feila are going to be able to hold on. They do get a couple of kills here, Jake, so maybe they're just going to buy themselves a little bit some time for the respawns.
Ubi just lobbing those pills like Kobe Bryant, but he's doing very well so far. Just spamming and making sure that nobody can get through that narrow choke point. Gedo on 100%, Layla 90% on her side, so equal Ubers for all is considered. And we're just gonna go in ahead and, well, just keep spamming. Uber charge as being exchanged here. Dreamy Joe going in the back line, looking for some off shooters here on against the other scout, but it's just a little bit of a scuffle. They cannot aim those meat shots, and all those hours that the MGE wasted as both scouts just agree to disagree and leave the spawn.
Yeah, that's about as bad as it can go on the C point net. You see the simultaneous caps are trying to go down here. May just teasing that E point. Joe actually defends himself on 8 HP to that rushing scout. So I think Jackie Legs is feeling hungry. Wants to go for some frags, and Mezzo is the one who actually gets the kill. And Joe is down for another 23 seconds. So yeah, this is looking pretty good for SDCK. Huge Uber advantage. Just the E point to go, and just under 6 minutes to capture it. And no demo. They're on mini sentries. The odds are stacked against them right now.
Yeah, it just doesn't look very good here for Feila eSports. 5 minutes to go on the clock for SDCK, and 2 points to go is no time at all. Roboprod just spamming and bullying Mezzo. It seems that finally he's managed to get him. And he now has a very good position to defend the point. Poker is going to take a lot of spam. The trumpet's coming out, which is clutch because a lot of the red players are low on health. Jordan, you've seen a whole 1% of health. Valve's Yahoo own. Just going in, and W plus and 1, 2 of the most damaging classes for the red team. Feila eSports down to 3 players, and the E point under siege by SDCK. It doesn't look very good. Layla is still alive, however, and that Uber charge is sticky, so she may yet be the person to win this game. We have yet to realize this, as red spawns are slowly ticking in. Blue players, however, all in position, ready to go. What a headshot there by Carpi, trying to keep the dream alive. Newbie's down, looking for a poker kill. And now the red tier spawns are coming in. E point so close to being capped. CJ Uber charge is ready and off. Poker is gonna try to stop these players from jumping on the point, but falling down is Team Erden. Joe and UFC's low on the ground. He needs to just spam those spills. And Roboprod, oh my god, it's so close, CJ. It is so close. And they could still yet defend this, but they have 4 minutes more of this mayhem to go.
Yeah, and big Uber advantage for Gedu. They need a hero play on the medic here. Lily has gone down to Poker. Jackie Legs has been deleted for the time being, but so many people dying for Feila. Joe, Lily, Roboprod, all important players, and the Uber is going to be just taken across the point. Going to get so much damage down. Clark does fall into the pit, but he's just an MG T-board in middle, all going down. Nabi does get taken up by Gazarok with the headshot onto Layla. There's not going to be any heals. There's not going to be any Uber for Feila. They're just going to stack this point now. The respawns are trying to come in, but not much an NG and a Spy can do when almost the entire combo are on the point capturing it. And that first map is going to go 2 rounds to 0 to SDCK. This was, of course, Feila eSports map choice. So we're going to go into the second map knowing that Feila have lost their map choice, and SDCK are going to be sitting pretty comfortably right now, and they're going to be happy with the way things are going.
Yeah, and it's just... I just have to say that Feila eSports, you know, as their showing was on this map, you know, they did a few things well, you know. The crits pushes were actually very ingenious. They did manage to get on the point and cap it almost a couple of times. It's just that they really lacked that ultimate kind of oomph, that the resolve that carried SDCK. SDCK just kind of were very consistent throughout the entire game. Whatever Feila was trying to figure out, they were already ready to have like a response to that. And Uber, whether positioning, whether a pick, it just works out very, very well. And it did work out. It just worked out for the SDCK. They are the undeniable kings of steel. Feila eSports unfortunately falling a bit short, CJ. And now we're moving on to Badwater, so our payload map. And this is a pick of SDCK. What do you think is going to happen here?
I'm furiously refreshing the page to try and get combined logs, but it doesn't look like anyone's combining them. But Arch is working on it. He's being a busy bee in the background. He's working on it. So we all get some statistics for you.
Yeah.
Moving on to Badwater, though. I mean, I've played against SDCK since season 11, I think. You know, so quite a long time ago. And the way I've always seen them is a team that is, you know, they favor payload. They favor payload. And I would have said if Feila had any chance of winning this, they had to have won Steel. Because Badwater is a map historically, from you know, in my head, that Feila struggle on. So that's what I look at historically. You know, that's why SDCK have picked it. Feila, you know, probably not going to be too happy going on to this. However, I do think, you know, there have been changes to both teams this season. You know, different players are playing different positions, etc. And I think Carpi has been a big addition to Feila. He's been one of the players on fire throughout the season. So I do think him on a payload map is going to be interesting. Sniper, not really much room to maneuver most of the time on Steel. But on Badwatch, if he can be well protected and go on a bit of a spree, I do think Feila still have a say in this. But we do have some logs.
Yeah.
They've been combined. I'm taking a look. I love a combined log. I really do.
Oh yeah, and you know, surprisingly enough, you know, when you count the kills, you have obviously Joe and UFC in the middle at the top with 41 and 37, and you know, in total, but you just have to notice that Joe and UFC and middle both belong to Feila eSports. So how do the kills convert into points? It is not really like a equation that works out on Steel, as you can see. As you know, Jackie Legs being with 28. Being third on the top scoring list in terms of kills. It's just like, it shows that TF2 ultimately, you know, you can have a lot of kills, you can be extremely good individually, but what really matters are the points that you get for capping the game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's exactly, and Steel is the epitome of that sort of that mentality. It doesn't matter how many kills you get. I've seen games where you get so many more kills than the enemy team. However, you lose because you haven't focused the objective. You actually take a look at the team stats. Feila only actually got 5 less kills, only 5 less kills than SDCK, and they got 6,000 more damage. Probably by virtue of the crits, and Joe and Middle were the recipients of a lot of those crits. So that's probably where their damage and their kills are getting, and they're both in the combo. So the combo was obviously doing a lot of work for Feila. However, it's obviously everybody else on the team wasn't doing as much. I mean, when you add the two together, 78 of their kills came from the two players in the combo. Whereas when you take a look at the rest of the players on SDCK, you've got Jackie, you've got Yahoo in the next 2 slots. You also have Mezzo, Kazarok, Nubby, Poker, all of them getting over 20 kills. Whereas the rest of the Feila team are all, you know, in the low teens when it comes to the number of kills. So that's the big difference. There, like, obviously combo was doing a lot of work for Feila, but they weren't getting the pressures on the cap, they weren't getting the flanks, they weren't getting the assistance from everything else. And how many times do we see Jackie go in with a clutch bomb, or Yahoo just go in and kill a bunch of people? So I think that really does tell the story of Steel. It's going to be interesting to see how that transitions over to Badwater. I think Feila aren't going to be super high in morale, but I think maybe SDCK are going to be feeling very confident, and that could cause them to slip.
And definitely morale is incredibly important in a team-based game, especially when you have 9 players on a team. You know, from a brief stint when I was in the charge of team, and you've been for a much longer time, you already know how important morale is in the Atlas. Like, what you need to do is simply, you know, you've lost a game in a gauntlet of 3, potentially. Mm-hmm. What you just need to do is write it off, learn from it on the go, but not blame anybody, because once you start blaming people for mistakes, that's when you've already lost the second game. You need to stop that and you need to move on. I'm not sure how Feila works, you know, in their workings kind of work and how they do things, but this is kind of imperative for teams that are trying to get the synergy together. You try not to look at mistakes, you just work together to fill in those mistakes for other players as well. Yeah. And that's kind of how a team-based game works. So now, with Feila eSports being on the defense, or the attack, no, defense, that's the right thing. They're on the red team, they're defending, they're setting up on Cliff with SDCK attacking. So SDCK is going to be the one who is going to set the time, and Feila will be trying to defend it as best as they can. 30 seconds to go, CJ.
Back in Season 16, Jake, in the Grand Final, I was playing against Feila eSports, and we lost the first map, which was our map choice. We lost our map choice to them, and we then had to play 2 more maps which were not our choice. And everyone in the Mumble was like, oh dang, we lost our map choice. And we now have to play on their home map. Well, we still went on to win that best of 3-2-1, and that's what Feila need to look at this here. We lost our map choice against them, we just need to win the 2 maps. That Steel is done and dusted, we're not going to mention Steel again. Let's focus on Badwater, and I do think they have the players to get stuff done. And we see the Nubby bomb come in here, Yahoo with the jetpack, but it's just getting denied. Carpi goes down, but big reflex from T-Borden. Just a sniper pick, Jake, and that was pretty well defended.
Yeah, it was just a shower of body parts on that point here. Lily is moving the sentry slightly further back as to defend the tunnel with middle Roboprod there as well with the scout here and Dreamy. And they're just, you know, they're holding well. A second set of jumps goes in, but Jacket is just crashing on the cliff. Newbie has an uber charge on him, but T-Bird is just charging on that. The Devilman, now they're trying to keep the medic away. Oh, they'll be able to get Getu with the help of Lily, doing quite well for themselves. They're sapping the sentry, the blue team, but it's already desapped by Lily. Very strong showing coming out of Feila eSports on the first point. Ubers have been exchanged, and Layla survived that push, which means they have the advantage, and they still have control of the top cliff.
I mean this in a 100% serious way. Lily is going to be one of the most important players on the defense here for Feila eSports. So good at using the Eureka effect, so good in getting that teleport trap, keeping it up, putting it back up again once it gets destroyed, making sure the sentry's in the right place. SDCK, this is a little bit of a setback for them, and they are at disadvantage here. Joe is going to die to Clark, actually. Takes him out with a shotgun in midair. But, you know, as long as Lily and Carpi are going to be well protected, it's going to be very difficult. Mezzo is going to get the sap on the sentry, but it's going to be enough to take it down. But only 2 players left alive. Gedu has to run back to spawn here, Jake, and they're just not getting the force.
Yeah, Mezzo's on the cart right now, trying to push it slightly forward, but the sentry is going to be built up yet again by Lily. They have a dispenser running, and that's an important notification information to know that you have the dispenser and you can build up. Look, it's already level 2. It's working out. They have the Uber charge ready to go, but so does Gedu. Jumping in is Jacqueline from behind, looking for some rockets onto Layla, but not quite fast enough. Now T-Bird is going to lead the charge onto Gedu, pushing him away. Newbie jumping behind again, trying to just kind of split the damage from all different sides, so the team is confused as what to do here. Layla is jumping down as well. She's on fire, but she's alive. And here Lily is well, just going to run away, but what?
Carpi managing to get the headshot. Gedu trying to just backtrack to spawn to safety. Knew his team had won the fight, but tries a Nubby with that pipe. Just clips T-Borden on the ankle, but Jackie Legs is going to equalize things out. Huge bomb takes down Layla. Doesn't matter what Carpi did earlier on to take down Gedu. Layla has gone down. 10-second respawn for her. And once again, Jackie Legs with the clutch pick onto a medic. SDCK are going to capture this second point, Jake, and they're going to have a huge advantage. We're talking like 30-40% by the time Layla starts healing. They may be able to take this all the way through onto third.
Yeah, they need to get that third under control. It is so difficult to defend, well, to attack that point once it's well defended, but Lily hasn't set up that sentry gun in that top spot just yet. Jackie Legs just jumping sky high, hitting the skybox even, to secure that point, and now he's notified, okay, there's no sentry up top. They are just now setting up, and they don't have the Uber charge. They've lost Joe and UFC and Roboprod as well, which is gonna prove difficult defending this point without those two classes. Jackie Legs on the behind as well with Mezzo. Oh, Lily's in a world of trouble there. He has that that Frontier Justice on 1 HP, which kind of helps out, but Jackie Legs is just such a problem child here, and an Uber charge coming out to Newbie, Yahoo, Mezzo jumping in, all in, trying to get and chase down Layla, but they just crash against that wall of red bodies. Now they just have to stop this card from moving in, and Uber charge from the red side is coming out.
I would dare say that was job done from SDCK. They used the Uber, they pushed the car so close that now Feila can't really afford to leave anyone alone. I just also have to say Carpi and Agi have got about 10 kills between them in the past 60 seconds. Carpi is just hitting headshot after headshot. Agi is cleaning people up with the revolver, getting these backstabs. They're both doing so well for their team, and you know, this has not been an easy ride for SDCK, considering that, you know, they really won that first map quite comfortably, and this is their map choice. Feila are giving it a really hard go, and we are not over in this grand final yet.
No, they're doing quite a good job. They set up finally on that third point. That's so important. Ubers are about equal as well, so all good in that regard for Feila eSports. Poker has gone down, so has Mezzo, so no spy shenanigans for the side of SDCK. They're kind of edging their way forward. They lost Kazarok as well, they're doing so well. Oh, and Layla is just going aggressively against Gedu. They're trying to get the force out, and I think it's a very smart decision because that saves the sentry a lot of trouble. It's so difficult to push this in without the Uber charge, but Mezzo's already working his way out. No, he decides to go around. He's been spotted there, and he's still moving in forward. Has anyone seen him? He's gonna get a stab onto the sniper, and he's looking for some more stabs in the background here. And SDCK, oh, they've managed to get that sentry gun, and Kazarok in such a good position. He gets a body shot onto Layla. No more medic for the side of red, and that it should be very easy to push in. Newbie, disrespect with the bottle.
Yeah, I mean, that's just poor communication from Feila and good coordination from SDCK. You know, Mezzo going in for the sap on that aggressive sentry, doesn't manage to get the stab, doesn't manage to get anything other than the sap. But because of that distraction, Nubby's able to throw some pipes over, manages to take down Lily, the sentry goes down, and they just leave Boiler totally open. It's so free, and then Kazarok gets the body shot. So the Uber's going to come in here, huge advantage. It actually takes most of the Uber to take down the sentry, and Layla gets backstabbed on the retreat, gets taken down by Mezzo, and Lily's gone down to a reflect from Yahoo. So many people are dying here for Feila. T. Warden is managing to get the kill onto Nubby, but it's probably not going to be enough. Just RoboProj and Addy who are going to be alive, and this has just been a roll from third to last in about 45 seconds. And they did so well, Jake, on that first point. That they just, and even on the third point for a bit, but they just losing players in odd positions.
This is do or die now. This is do or die for Feila eSports. They've lost this point in 6 minutes. They need to get this one in less than that, and 6 minutes is already a pretty darn good time for PL Badwater. They of course will have another round of this, but this is already, you know, they're 1 point down in terms of maps. Now they're 1 point down almost, I mean, not guaranteed, I'm not saying miracles do happen, but this is already going to be very, very difficult. And what Feila needs to do is just completely revamp their strategy. It seems that SDCK has an answer to everything that Feila eSports have prepared for them. And what it really requires is some hero plays. Joe and UFC, you know, doing the regular Joe stuff. So far, Nubia has been winning out those duels. And then you have Middle against Poker. Middle last time had more kills, but Poker is the one who's staying alive longer, and that's what counts. And it just, in the end, it seems that SDCK have that's something that really, like, what it takes to take this map. 6 minutes to go. They're on defense now, CJ, and we'll see how Feila eSports decides to attack this. Maybe they'll be able to roll this one in straight. We don't know yet.
Yeah, we are seeing faster times on the pro version of Badwater, virtue of it easier to being to push the third point. I just think at the moment SDCK, you know, they were struggling as a team trying to push. As the suicides come in here, RoboProj is removed, and Joe also gets taken down. Not much received there. Layla actually doesn't have her Uber in spawn. She's still building. She's on crit screen. So she was obviously on Uber till the last second, has now switched to crits, so they're pushing first with a crit streak. We'll see how this goes. You know, it's taken some big plays from the likes of Jackie and Mezzo and Nubby to make stuff happen on this map so far for SDCK. Here we're going to see some big ones. He's hiding in the dispenser. Oh my god, that is such a that's 5,000 IQ. Gedu uses the Uber and they just wipe them out. He stands inside the dispenser, Jake. He crouches inside the dispenser. 3 crit stickies land right next to him and he takes 0 damage. He takes 0 damage, and then they use the Uber and they just wipe him. Lily gets taken down by Kazarok. SDCK are in control as Jackie comes in with the conch. This is what he loves to do. They take down RoboProj, they take down Joe, and Feila just must be reeling right now. They don't know what the hell happened just there.
This is what defines in the dictionary balls of steel, because if there were 3 crit stickies around me and I was like had a choice to pop the Uber charge or hide in the dispenser, I would definitely pop the Uber charge. I would not go for the second option, but this is the world we live in. And the dispensers can tank the damage for you now. Kazarok is on duty again for the SDCK, taking down Dreamy. No more scouts shenanigans, no more card pushing. Clark still has his level 3 sentry up, but finally Carpi manages to open up that sideline with a nice body onto Kazarok. Uber is coming out of Gedu, who's trying to chase off all the blue players. Now Layla is countering with hers. Jumping on the point is RoboProj trying to look for some kills. Maybe he'll be able to find Poker. He does. Well done, and just kind of whittling them down here, Feila eSports, but Feila eSports in turn getting whittled down by SDCK. It seems that even though they did manage to put a huge dent in that defense, they've lost way too much and will have to reset this one.
Yeah, this is what I was saying on Steel. Feila eSports operate on this, just on like chaos theory. They just throw people in to try and get as many kills as they can, and on Steel it does do them justice at times. But as you can see here, it's taken almost their entire team. Big jump from Robopod actually, getting in behind, gets a nice rocket on to get it, but he's just going to lose an MG battle against Jakeowaty there. But because they basically took their entire team to capture that first point, it's meant that SDCK have been able to buy some time here on second, and actually, you know, they're getting kills and they're slowing Feila down. And you know, especially on Badwater Pro, we haven't seen teams really defend second that much, but SDCK can do it because Feila didn't really have that forward pressure because they had no bodies alive. SDCK are going to have to back out here. Robobot getting denied by the sentry, but Clark getting backstabbed by Agi. That's really big. Sentry will go down here, but I do think we might see an Uber exchange on second.
Yeah, Mezzo actually still kind of worked out and stabbed a few more people to just slow it down a little bit more. 3 minutes to go on the side of blue. Both medics fully charged, and second point in the back for Feila eSports. They will be looking at capping that third, but they're wasting quite a bit of time. They've wasted a lot of lives to get this point done, which means it'll take them even longer to try to attack this. Kazarok is such a danger when you see him in the sideline like this. He's finally been bullied out by the scout. Carpi now moving from the boiler room. He gets a nice headshot onto the sniper, but not enough to kill him. Ubercharge coming out of Layla very quickly. Gedu much later on. But it seems that Feila are gaining a lot of ground. They'll have to pack away, and it seems that this time around SDCK are taking a lot of kills, but not before they do take down Newbie. Join UFC is gonna find another one just before he falls himself to Yahoo. And if anything is if anything says anything, I mean, it's only level 2 on the point, and it's not in the window yet, which means that Feila still has a chance relatively easily pushing this point, CJ.
Well, a lot of teams haven't been putting it in the window on third on Badwater Pro. We've seen kind of these aggressive holds, but as like you said, because it's on the right on the point, it's not really denying that boiler area. They are losing a few players here. Middle and Robopop going down, and Feila are just trying to strong arm the car here. They're trying to get bodies on the car and get that cap time and walk forward, but they're losing players as they do it. Carpi goes down. They managed to take down May, but Dreamy's down. Jackie Legs is behind, just sort of peppering the car with rockets and just not allowing them to have any sort of time. And Kazarog just walks around the corner and gets a headshot onto Layla. And that could be it. 1 minute and 20 seconds. There needs to be an absolutely catastrophic collapse here from SDCK. They have an Uber, they've used the Uber, and now they're just going to chase people down. They may have to give up third here, but I don't think they're going to lose last based on these respawn waves.
Yeah, and they just got respawns. Full team is available. Join UFC caught off guard yet again. Kazarok is on fire right now. 2 kills to him for himself. Even they're looking for Roboprod, maybe even Layla somewhere there in the back line. Yes, he does get her! As the Kazarok is a nice triple K there. He's looking for some more. This man's hungry. He's just gonna be kind of spammed out of that area. And it seems that with 40 seconds to go, SDCK are gonna keep control of this point and keep control of the general point for this map. Peel Badwater, I don't think it is physically possible for Feila to push this point, to push this card in 30 seconds. So right now, all we're looking at, ladies and gentlemen, is just kind of a log play, looking for those amazing kills and maybe some more kills on the side of Kazarok, and he's in there. Uber's coming out again.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what we call dead time now, as we can see people just taunting on the point because there's no way for Feila to get it. And Jackie Lake's going to pick up some more kills for his logs, including one onto Layla. Basically just getting spawn camped at this moment in time. But that first round of Badwater is going to go the way of SDCK. They are 1 round away now from winning the title for the second successive season. Feila eSports on the brink. This is, you know, we talk about being on the edge. They're on the edge now. They need to win every available round on this map and then, you know, try and do the same on the next map to try and win. And it's a tough ask. I mean, defensively, Jake, they looked pretty good on that first point. I thought they were doing pretty well. And then on third, I thought they had a nice aggressive hold, middle in the house, the sentry being aggressive on the balcony. But it just kind of collapsed in between. It's just they're giving away these easy kills.
Exactly, and SDCK definitely are not the ones who waste kills given to them. I mean, the first point was a bit shaky. Feila have been doing quite a lot of work. Then Gedu's hero play, surviving the crits, was a pretty heroic play in its own, and kind of like it's equivalent to an amazing goalkeeper save during a shootout. It just works out for them so splendidly. This roster is so damn strong, and now Feila eSports on literally their back foot, you know, like having that arm wrestling competition, and they're almost touching the table, but not just yet. They may still rebound from this, they may still win this, but they will need to put in an immense amount of work and basically do an equivalent of playing another, well, 1.5 games as they've just now played.
I mean, it's a marathon at the end of the day. You're playing a best of 3, and the 2 first maps are played best of 3 as well. So, you know, if you want to win and come back from this, it's going to take them time. I do think SDCK, they've got people making the big plays. Like we saw Kazarok, we've seen Jackie, we've seen people come out with these big picks, these big plays, and people on Feila need to step up and start doing the same. Lots of damage going down, and actually Gedu has to use the Uber. The dispenser goes down, he was hiding in it again, but he takes so much damage, he has to use that Uber, and now he's a very, very successful sack wave. The sentry is being pushed, Jackie Lex actually blocked it, and kills Dreamy, so that's going to buy them a little bit more time. But now Feila eSports have a chance to make a really clean push on the first point.
Ubi just dodges away from Carpy's sightline. How did this man manage to do this? Oh, some happy feet going on, and now Uber charge is coming out of Layla very early, joggled up into the skies. Join UFC finally gonna go down, focused down by a Clark, who is still managing to keep control of his sentry gun. And SDCK just pushing back, and Feila eSports, Layla low on health. She's solo. She's finally gonna go down to Mezzo's Shank. Gonna go down himself, but not before taking down the medic for the side of blue. And now Gedo has a very nice, comfortable Uber advantage over Feila eSports. Not a lot is left in terms of the time. Well, the time, we have a lot of time, but not a lot of cap and cart movement going on. Gedo with 100% is gonna be able to hold this point for a lot longer. That cart is not far enough, CJ.
Yeah, I mean, Agi though gets the backstab onto Gedu. That's open the door again. So I mean, they opened the door, and sort of earlier on, Clark and Mezzo just slammed the door in their face. But you know, again, Agi's opened the door for them and said, "Okay, come on, guys, get through and make something get done here." Middles goes down. Joe and T-Borden are very, very weak. But Lely with that 70% is going to have a huge advantage. At the moment, you know, SDCK, they don't want to back out. They still want to fight this.
They don't have much to lose, to be honest. All they lose are a couple of lives. What a headshot there by Kazarok. He's looking for Carpy. Oh, Carpy sees him and just decides to back away. Gedu.
No.
Oh, Uber charge coming out. Gedu is on the front line. That's not a good position to be as a medic. The cart is not being pushed, and the point is still controlled by the sentry gun. Clark, how are you doing this, my man?
Jake, it's 2020. Why are people still Ubering from tunnel? Like, what? If you Uber from tunnel, your Uber's like 50% gone by the time you get up to the first set of stairs, and then Clark's just probably sat there with a beer in one hand and his Wrangler in the other, laughing because he's just holding mouse one and just wrangling on them. They can't get close to it right now. They're not getting pressure from different angles. Clark's on a 5k, and I keep seeing that Wrangler kill icon in the screen. Like, where's the pressure from multiple angles? Jackie has tunnel on lockdown. This is not looking good for Feila right now as the Uber comes in from SDCK. Nubby is basically on the spawn. Poker is on a 6k, takes down T-Borden. Now Layla's at 95%, Jake. Feila, again, I'm going to say for the third time this round. Feila has a chance here to cap this first point.
And it's just so close, yet not far enough. Now moving from the general cliff area, they're all good now. JNFC is just charging in, getting launched into awkward space there. Dreamy is just putting meat shots into the heavy and finally going down. Poker is... It's a lot of damage being exchanged. Seems that they're in control of this. A lot of kills down the way of SDCK. Jackalex is alive, and now Newbie is just running away, finally getting away barely by the skin of his teeth. The last man standing. It could have been a whole wipe, and finally Feila has managed to do and get the first point. The problem being, it took them 3.5 minutes, CJ.
Yeah, that's such a long time. And I do think that, yeah, SDCK, they don't want to fight me. I don't know if anyone's noticed Nubby. He's still like on second. He's just chilling. Like he's just jumping around, grabbing health packs. They have no demo. He's gonna jump in behind now, and he actually decreases. I was just watching the adventures of Nubby there for a minute. Actually, the Ubers are being used. Ubers used on the third point by Feila, and they've actually killed a whole bunch of stuff. So while I was looking at the Nubby cam, while he was just, practicing his pogos, Feila have actually pushed really far up onto third here. SDCK have a choice. They can either decide to cut their losses and hold last with their Uber advantage, or use this Uber advantage to try and retake corner. The cart is only just reaching the hill right now. Yahoo's going to open things up. I think they're going to use the Uber here. Nubby is back with them. They're trying to take this ground. T-Pawn is trying to reflect them away here, Jake. I think this might be working out for SDCK in the long run, but Feila, they do get the cap. 438. They've turned a really, really bad first push into a 1 minute second to third.
Yeah, and that's absolutely amazing. And now they have an uber-charged advantage over Gedu, and the red team is missing a lot of players, and they can just keep on this steam engine rolling. Ajay is moving behind already. You'll be working on that medic back, maybe even a sap. Nobody really knows he's there. He might get there. Oh my god, he almost gets Gedu, but just in time, he just flips his mouse a little bit around. The uber-charge is coming, or in middle is just charging in. The T-Bird is just burning everybody, and they're just killing people. Left, right, and center. Gedu is down. Kazarok, Nubi, Yahoo, Chakilex. I could make right in Mortuary here, as they're just all going down. And Feila eSports, what a time they're setting right now.
Yeah, I mean, they've got some respawns, but there's too many bodies on the car. I don't think they can do it. Yeah, and the car's going to go in. 533.
That is incredible.
I mean, Middle had done an 11 kill streak. So, I mean, he was just being a tank and just killing everything. And I don't know whether SDCK got a little bit too cocky there after, really just, Iron Manning that first point almost. And then just kind of, they had Nubby behind enemy lines. And then, I don't know whether it was the fact that he wasn't there that they just got, I mean, this shouldn't be the case, but yeah, they just seemed totally unprepared on the third point, and that just rolled over onto last. And like I said, they had a choice with that Uber to either back off, go to last and say, hey, we've got Uber advantage, let's just chill, or try and retake that corner and try to consolidate themselves on third. If they wanted to do that, they needed to stop the cap. They did make sure they took down like 4 or 5 people with that Uber, but they didn't stop the cap, and that meant Feila were getting those forward respawns, and it meant that they were able to just walk through with an Uber advantage because Layla survived that push. So SDCK now, I think for the first time in this tie, in the entire cast so far, are looking at this and thinking, okay, we need to put our serious caps on and make sure we don't screw up this push.
Yeah, I mean, such a fast turnaround that last round was. That's just, I'm absolutely amazed, and that kind of hopefully rekindled in the hearts of Feila eSports, and now they're looking at defending their time against SDCK. We'll see how it goes. First kill goes to Carpi onto Kazarok. Nicely done, making sure that Medic is safe and not really worrying about her life too much. Yahoo jumping in, so is Newbie. Huge jump from both, but Layla just kiting left, right. She's doing an amazing job staying alive there. However, the dispenser, the casualty going down. Gen UFC as well, and Roboprod are the casualties of this push. So they did manage to put a few dents in that defense, but not enough to make the team budge. And Feila eSports still holding on. Jackleg jumping and gonna get blasted away. Again, an Uber charge finally going from the large path on the side. Newbie's trying to focus the sentry gun, and Lily is in a lot of trouble. She's good. Well, he's gonna do down. The engineer dead for the count, but the sentry is safe and alive, so maybe able to get a few more bullets into the enemy bodies. Holding on to the point is still Feila eSports, and they do have the players to hold it, but I'm not quite sure for how much longer here, CJ.
Yeah, I mean, no sentry. Carpi is up, so, if they want to do this far right push here, it's going to be difficult for them. But middle going down to May does mean that that's a lot of HP off of the field, and I do think they just want to drive push this now. 4 minutes to go. Carpi, though, with the 4 kill streak, takes down Kazarok, and I think it's going to be hard for SDCK right now because, they know that they have to push something in the next, at least in the next minute to get some momentum. And Carpi is currently clicking on heads, takes down Poker. He's so far forward. He knows he has that protection. Joe goes down though. I think he's gone down 3 times so far, and the Uber is going to be used onto middle. I'm not sure why. I think Layla must have been forced, and they have to get kills here, but there we go. Geddy's going to use his Uber, and they're just going to swamp over the remainder of the Feila players.
Feila's in a world of trouble right now, being chased by Mage. He won't be able to dodge away from those meat shots, and he's finally taking down the enemy medic, which will buy SDCK a lot of time. And that's not something that Feila was really looking forward to, because as a result, they may even lose the second point without Feila around. It's going to be very difficult for them to hold. Now Lily is building that level 3 sentry as fast as he can. We'll see how it turns out. But Joe in UFC!
He had the trap above the tracks in that little area that I don't think I've seen since about 2012. But he had the sticks above there. SDCK were trying to rush main, and he takes down the medic. And I was going to say, if Feila wanted to win this round, they had to keep their medic alive. But Layla died on the first point. But it doesn't matter, because they've equalized things out. Gedu is down. Feila have the Uber advantage again. And now, if they manage to chalk some time off the board on this third point, they may be in a good position to actually win this round and get something on the board for this game.
2.5 minutes left on the clock. Lily's in a lot of trouble with that sentry gun being spammed so hard. RoboProd is in a good position to hold this point. There's so many bodies swarming the cart right now. But it seems that the red team here, Feila eSports, are in control of the situation. They have the Ubercharge ready to go. 2 minutes and, well, with 15 seconds to spare for SDCK to get something out of this. Jakeowaty's jumping behind enemy lines. He's going to grab himself a small health bag. Dreamy is there, however. Oh, so much damage being exchanged, and Jakeowaty's now low on health. He won't be able to do much in this situation. Layla with 100% ready to go at any time. She'll be able to respond to anything that the blue team shoots at her. 2 minutes to go, CJ. It's basically a fight against the clock as Ubers are being exchanged.
Yeah, it was exchanged here, and they need to get a good exchange here, SDCK, in order to get some momentum. Dreamy's gone down, the sentry's gone down, but Yahoo, who is trying to get behind enemy lines, has also gone down. Nabi is trying to pressure the car. T. Borden is throwing out a lot of damage, and Layla goes down to Mezzo. So there is no heals for the defensive side here, and as long as SDCK keep Gedu alive, that means they're going to be able to push this last point with an Uber, and I don't think there's going to be enough time for Layla to get one. Oh no, actually! Huge plays from that man. He takes down Gedu with the revolver, and that means there won't be an Uber advantage. So this could be, I mean, again, I was saying, on SDCK we've had people coming out with the huge plays. So far we've seen some huge plays from players on Feila. Those clutch moments where you need to get the kills, and they've done it so far. This could be a round on the board for them. But SDCK are pushing into the last here. They know if they just get this car onto the point within the next 60 seconds, they will have won this map. Tuapoka takes down Layla. He's so far forward, and they could actually win this, but they're losing a lot of players here, Jake.
Yeah, they've put too many cards or too many chips in 1 point, and they've lost pretty much all of their team. Only the Spy and the Soldier were alive for that time. Now Poker respawning with the rest of the teammates with 40 seconds to go. It is not out of the realm of possibility, but it's definitely going to be difficult. Layla now hit the respawn. She'll be able to rejoin the team and maybe heal up. Probably going to quick fix. Yes, she does. Smart choice. There's not much time left on the clock, and you need those heals up. Gedu moving with the rest of the team through the tires, wrapping around with Poker leading the charge, jumping in, and Jakeowaty onto Carby, taking down. So much damage being exchanged, but the sentry is still up, however. Lily finally losing that, but no, it's just a complete wipe. Only Mezzo alive on the battlefield, looking for a medic, but not enough, and that's a wipe, complete wipe for the side of Feila, and they're keeping themselves in this game.
Wow. I mean, they won that on their attack, right? They won that on their offensive stage. They did so well in just pushing all the way from first to third in about a minute, and then just momentum carried them over to the last point. Defensively, a lot of mistakes were made. I think both medics died quite a lot there. And they were playing pretty fast and loose with their heals. But, you know, big plays coming in from some individuals there. Right at the end there, Dreamy just taking Gedu out of the equation straight away with some tasty meat shots. Agi there taking him down earlier on as well. And Joe with the trap. Just those moments that have helped them get back in the game. And finally, Feila eSports have something on the board for this final. They have won a round. They need to win the next round on this map in order to win it. Of course, SDCK just need to win the round in order to win at the tie overall. But hey, you know, it's they've crawled their way back, and you know, maybe the momentum is in the hands of Feila right now.
It's very much possible. I mean, maybe SDCK has gotten complacent. Maybe Feila managed to find themselves enough motivation to keep on going, but you know, going those later stages of the game, especially after a long time that we spent on Steel, and now we're gonna spend a third round on Badwater, is gonna definitely start wearing those players down. And it's very, very important, because the longer you play, especially after a long day, whatever you've been doing, practicing or otherwise, this is going to be a difficult situation, because, you know, during the LAN, you all have to do is focus on the game. So you get up as, you know, get as much sleep as possible, and then you just play the whole day. So you can sort of get in that moment, get in the zone, and keep on going for a long periods of time. However, if it's at the end of the day, during regular, well, weekend, and it's at the very end of the day, which is, you know, 9 p.m., it's going to be kind of wearing those players down. So I'm just wondering which team is gonna wear it down faster. Is it gonna be SDCK, where we're gonna be stop seeing Newbie being as aggressive as he is? Are we gonna stop Joe and UFC going a little bit more crazy and less, you know, less cautious? Although that's not really much Joe and UFC's domain, is it? Basically, just it's gonna start wearing those players down, and we'll see that the mistakes that they're gonna make are gonna be much more paid for than any advantages they work for themselves.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is a mental thing, like how long you end up playing the game for, you know, and it sort of wears on you a little bit, because stuff that, you know, you're normally very sharp to and react to, your mind gets a little bit dulled, and that's where we start to see people like the spies coming in and really preying on the fact that people lose that focus, and that coordination starts to get maybe a little bit more sloppy. And that's why more mistakes happen as the game goes on. So that's what maybe Feila are hoping for, that SDCK start to, you know, crack a little bit here. We've seen one crack, and they've managed to get a round off of them. For those of you just joining us, this is the grand final of Season 20 of ETF2L Highlander. This is the Premiership division. The winner will be crowned the best in Europe. SDCK looking for their 5th title. They are the current holders, having beaten Envision in Season 19's final, whereas Feila eSports have been in the final 5 times before. This is their 6th appearance in the final, and so far they have never won it. So if they were to lose here today, this will be their 6th runners-up medal as a team. For individuals, however, Joe was also a runner-up in the Season 5 final, Jake, which means this is his 7th final. Again, he has still not won a final. SDCK players, however, many of them have won many finals in the past, both with SDCK and the likes of SO as well. SDCK just have one round to win, and they will be crowned the champions, having won Steel 2-0. However, Feila will need to win this 3rd round of Badwater in order to force the tie to a 3rd map, which would be CP Gullywash. And it's going to be Feila eSports in the blue. They're going to be attacking first, which is what they did last time. So maybe they just want a repeat of that 2nd round, Jake. SDCK probably maybe woken themselves up a little bit here.
Yeah, and definitely it's going to be a rough match for both teams. Like I said, the time they've spent playing together now, probably scrimming before that as well, and the fact that Feila has now managed to kind of recuperate. SDCK was hoping to get this one done and dusted and move on with the evening, and Feila managed to scrap away one win. Let's see if they are able to scrap away a few more and keep themselves in this final, possibly going to the 3rd map. We shall see. But now the gates are down, and we're gonna watch and observe how these teams decide to deconstruct this situation and possibly advance themselves into the 1st place of ETF2L Season 20. Now, Team Burden and Roboprod and Gen UFC all going down roughly the same time, I believe within 1 second of each other, and completely met with a wall of, well, steel that was being presented by SDCK.
Yeah, just a barrier. This isn't a game with barriers. What are you talking about? We don't have shields. We just have bullets and rockets, and we make our walls that way. But yeah, they're going to try again. Joe flying in. Robopod gets denied really hard there. And the only casualty is the dispenser. However, Carpi is going to get a couple of kills. Takes down Clark. Takes down Jackie Legs. That sentry is open to spam now and can be taken down. They might have hoped for a little bit more here. But they'll have to do with taking down the sentry. Actually, Agi does it, and he's going to take a little stroll to spawn, maybe to take down that teleporter. But I do think looks like Feila wants to push it, and they've used the Uber, Jake.
Ooh, early Uber push out of the blue team. Clark managed to save himself with that wrench, space wrench coming into play. but the rest of the team is running away. Gedu has safe and sound as well, running with the rest of the team. Yahoo trying to slow them down. But no, Gedu goes down there. What happened? I'm not sure what happened. I was not on the point here, but Newbie in a lot of trouble. He's being chased by Feila eSports. They managed to get him with a nice airshot from D-Bird, or maybe he died in mid-air. We will probably never know at this point. Jumping in onto them is jakeowaty. It's gonna get reflected back. What is this showing from Feila eSports? It's like we're watching a whole new team, CJ.
Yeah, but it's Poker. Poker, with the play, manages to take down Joe and Layla. So, you know, they have the momentum, they have the players, and they have the positioning, and then Heavy manages to take down their demo and their medic. So everyone else on Feila right now is fragging hard, but there is no uber advantage for them. Gedu is at 40%, Layla's only at 20%. They don't have Kazarok, they don't have Jackie, so they are playing this rather passive, and they're giving Feila a lot of respect and a lot of room here. Middle goes down to a backstab from Mezzo, that's going to really help them. Yahoo is getting really aggressive, but does die to the stickies of Joe, and this is really, I mean, I think they might be able to capture this third point here.
Yeah, they're pushing really hard. They're not really worried about any damage that is coming their way, and that's pretty okay because neither medic really has overcharge. They can just soft push in. Poker going down to an amazing headshot from Carpi, who's on 3k. He's looking for more. He's hungry. Now Newbie has an uber charge popped on them, but they already are 4 men down, which means it's going to be difficult for them to hold this third point as they conceded in 2.5 minutes. Now Newbie setting up a trap. That's most he can do, and Layla has 100% to go into that last point. It's gonna be difficult for SDCK to actually hold and, well, keep control of that last point for themselves. Newbie's a bit stressed. You can see by the movements of the mouse that he's not very sure that what's gonna happen. He's just expecting people from drop from above. He's just spamming the card, but that uber charge coming out early and flying away are the blue players. Newbie just blasting them away like the Team Rocket. Now Joe in UFC is in a good position to get do a lot of damage. He's the one who's being dealt damage to. Poker now trying to save the situation for his team, but no, 4 players up for the red team and so many blue bodies on the card. CJ, oh no, that's not gonna happen.
It's almost a mirror image of what happened the last time. It's just a repeat, and this time they've capped it in 3 minutes and 34 seconds. I mean,
what is going on right now? What is going on, CJ? How is this even possible? Feila eSports just probably cracked the record for this season at the very least for the speed of capping PL Badwater in the, well, fastest time possible. Mind you, this is the grind finals too.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, as the time goes on, people get tired, people lose focus a little bit. You know, SDCK were 1 round away from winning the title, and you know, maybe everyone was really, you know, I don't know, maybe getting a little bit overconfident, getting a little bit sloppy, and Feila have kept their focus and managed to get back into this. And at the moment, at the moment, it's still all open. But, you know, with 3:34, that is pretty fast. And the SDCK have got a lot of work to do, and if they play like they did in the previous 2 rounds, it's not enough to cut it. They need to really put their pedal to the metal and get some gas in them and just go, you know, because at the moment, Feila could be winning this second map and taking us to a third.
Yeah, and it's such a comfortable position to be in for Feila. Just simply, you know that there's 3 minutes to go. All you really have to do is just set up on third, not really care about the first point. And looks like SDCK just knows that they just cannot really waste any time, and they go with the uber charge as late as possible, going through the tunnel no less. Managed to get Layla out of her uber charge, but Newbie's gonna get cleaned up by RoboPro very easy. Kazarok with an amazing headshot, however, trying to equalize those things on the middle. Gets another on the Robo. Just doing amazing work in that tunnel there. But unfortunately, Layla is still alive with a lot of people, and that is Joe in UFC on the ground as well, spamming the card. Dreamy low on health, but is gonna survive, but looks like Feila are deciding to just get away from this situation. I think that's a smart choice.
Yeah, you know those cartoons where you used to put like a pie on the windowsill and it looks really tempting to everybody? You know, that's what SDCK did. They basically put a pie at the end of the tunnel, and Kazarok was just like, anyone goes for the pie, I'm gonna shoot him in the head. They just baited them down into Kazarok's sideline, and he did so much work. And that's exactly what they needed to do here. They just didn't go for sacks. They didn't do anything other than just go out, take the exchange. Right now, they have a very, they building this Uber as much as they can. They actually have about a 15% advantage. If they push on the dot and catch Layla out, they may be able to kill her before she gets Uber. They're in deep. They're trying to do it. Layla is fairly weak. Is she going to get the Uber? She's 97%. She has to back onto last. She's 30 HP.
She's so low, she's not building. She needs to get that Uber charge ready to go. Gedo has no Uber charge himself. It just looks very, very stressful there. She gets that 100, so she will be able to save herself. And now the health is ticking up as well. Blue team is getting respawns, but Aki is on the net. He gets Gedo, and he gets Ray as well. And he's trying to revolve Vertic Engineer. And with the help of RoboProd, they managed to clean up the cart. 1 minute and 40 seconds left on the clock for SDCK as they're hurting for players, they're hurting for Uber, and they're hurting for the hope to win this map. Are they gonna lose their own pick, CJ?
It's looking that way. They have 1 minute and 30 seconds to do something, but Layla has 100% charge, and Gedo is nowhere close, only at 40%. So they can't go for an exchange here and hope that they win the fight afterwards. They have to either get a force or an Uber drop sometime soon, and then just carry the momentum from third all the way to last. They basically have to get onto the cart now and get something done. And at the moment, Feila playing this very passive, not taking any risks. But middle there gets headshot, but they've managed to take down 2 in return. Agi is going to get taken down in some spy action. Lots of stuff happening here. The Uber still hasn't been used. It finally does. Is it going to block the third point? It is. No forward respawns for SDCK. That was absolutely crucial for them to try and get something done here, but they block the cart just before it crosses that cap point. And with 45 seconds left on the clock, Jake, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do it. They have to go in, and they have to get time on the cart straight away. And I don't think they can. RoboProd jumps in. He gets so much damage, but instead of killing anyone, he just delays them. And Getty's actually on the crits right now. They're just trying to do anything to get forward.
We are watching C9 for Team Fortress 2, basically. SDCK getting a little bit complacent there. Pushing the cart is SDCK. 20 seconds to go, but that sentry's up. Carpe is up with that sniper sideline long lockdown, essentially. It's just nothing is going to pass through that side. However, Red Team is losing players left and right. 10 seconds on the clock. I don't think it's possible anymore. So now it's just all for padding out the stats. But what a showing from Feila eSports, managing to reclaim themselves on PL Badwater and putting the points in square zero, pushing us onto the third map of tonight.
Wow. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. After watching Steel and after that first round, I was kind of getting ready to, you know, go and get my hot chocolate on and just get into bed and, you know, have an early night, just relax. But clearly, Feila eSports had different plans. Clearly, they thought, nope, it's not over. And I don't know what happened. Whether SDCK just got overconfident, they lost their focus. Who knows what's going on in their mumble right now? They just were not on the same page there. Feila eSports tactics were just winning those last 2 rounds very, very comfortably, you could say. I mean, it's so close in reality, but they're
not close
they're
enough.
in control. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
SDCK are pushing them up until the last point on both of those rounds, but Feila were the ones who attacked first and put them under that pressure. And Gullywash is going to be a totally different kettle of fish, that's for sure. But the fact that Feila have now won SDCK's first map choice on a map that historically SDCK are very comfortable on, that's definitely going to, you know, shake them up a bit. Definitely going to shake them up a bit. And Gullywash, you know what? I don't think it's, you know, SDCK have picked it, of course. It's their choice, but I don't think they have as big an advantage on this map as they did on Badwater. I honestly do think that, you know, there's map winners on both sides.
Is insane situation right now, and we're back to square one, and we're back to the golden cap, the golden goal of this game, which is gonna be the Gullywash map. 5 CP, usually lengthy. Never really is the case where in Highlander especially one team just wins out but because of score. Usually the time just runs out and one team decides to park the bus after the 1 or 2 points when they get ahead. We'll see how the situation goes. I am not 100% sure which team can win this. Feila just kind of taking this. I think SDCK got a little bit complacent, that tiredness is coming into play. It's already 11 o'clock.
Can I just butt in there, Jake? Because I'm getting new information that I think we must have missed. okay, during that game. So you know the shutter on second,
Yep.
where you sort of it gets locked after you've capped second.
Yes.
Apparently, Middle and Roboprod, while that shutter was opened, pushed through it after they'd capped second and flanked SDCK on last at their spawn. So Feila eSports had a heavy and a soldier at the defending team's spawn and basically sort of sandwiched them and crushed them, which obviously helped a big deal with getting them a 3:34 time. So, I mean, I'm sorry, defending at 3. So, you know, big plays, big plays from those players. And what I was saying after this deal, we needed to see people from Feila step up and say, hey, we're going to be the one to make the clutch plays and do something. We've got logs, actually, Jake, combined logs from Badwater. And it's actually Middle, Carpi, and Joe topping the scoreboard. So Feila with their names at the top.
Is a pretty interesting game that was, definitely. I mean, after seeing SDK win the first round, I was like, okay, well, I think this is gonna be it. Feila just cannot seem to be able to find any holes in that plan. And like we said, right? Like we said that what you need is hero plays now. You need to change up your strategy, maybe bet on individual players, and it just worked out for them splendidly. Now, looking at the logs, you can very easily see that, yeah, Middle is just topping the charts with 36 kills. Joining UFC with 37, above Poker and above Newbie respectively. Very strong showing from these two guys. Obviously, RoboProd actually, 20 of the kills, 35 deaths, obviously, but heavens above is 10 kills above Jackie Legs. And that just kind of shows Jackie Legs getting a little bit more damage, but not as strong in terms of confirming kills as RoboProd was. And then Dreamy, 35 kills on his account, May only 20. So that kill game really did come into clutch. I do believe in the second and third part of it, but it just shows that more kills, more is more, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because we saw Jackie Legs having a huge game and Nubby putting out huge damage, but they were sort of closer to the bottom of the scoreboard there. So I mean, Jackie right at the bottom there, and it's a map that he enjoys, and especially using those conch on defense is usually a big deal for them. And the fact that so many more Feila players are at the top, it really does speak volumes about how dominating they were on the last 2 rounds.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely here. But now we are writing this map off. It's done and dusted. It's gone. It's written in the history books. And we're going to move into the CP Gollywash map, known mostly for the 6s showing, rarely played in Highlander, though it does come back every now and then. As you can see, we're going to look at it in the finals. The sunny and dusty lands, the Gollywash map with amazing Spire in the middle, and another Spire on the second, and a choke and tight last point is just going to be a map for literally every single class. And I'm just wondering how each team decides to take this one on, with Joe and UFC and Newbie against each other, with Jackie Legs and RoboProd against each other, Dreamy and May. It's just going to be a huge showdown, seeing that Feila managed to kind of get that win back in their sails.
I mean, like I said, I don't think this map is as one-sided for SDCK as they picked it. Obviously, they're the highest seed. They got to pick the deciding map, but I don't think Badwater definitely they would have felt very much more comfortable on. But onto this map, I don't think they have. Obviously, both teams have amazing players, but when we look at it, like Dreamy is actively playing 6s, in a pretty high team. I don't think May is really much anymore. Jackie Legs, like RoboProd again playing 6s at a fairly high level. Obviously, I'm mentioning 6s because it's very much what a Gollywash 5CP is based around. Jackie Legs, very insanely good player with a lot of experience, but isn't playing 6s at the moment. So it kind of like I'm looking at it and thinking, okay, like we have some players who probably will be more comfortable on this map. Nubby is insanely talented when it comes to DM potential, as is Joe, so that's going to be really interesting to see who's faster on the rollout, who's going to be getting the most damage out. But the sniper battle I think, is where it's going to be won. Carpi really turned up on that second map. Kazarok's been hitting shots all day, but Carpi has been a big reason why Feila have got so far this season already, and he's really going to need to be making sure he gets as many kills as he can to help his team, because I think whichever sniper is going to do the best, I think may turn the tide of this fight.
Yeah, it is very much possible, and I'd like to remind you guys that you're watching the Grand Finals Season 20 of 2020 of ETF2L Highlander SDCK versus Feila eSports. A lot is on the line, and both teams are back to square one after duking it out on 2 previous maps. Steel going the way of SDCK, and then PL Badwater, the upgraded version, going the way of Feila eSports. Now we're down to CP Gollywash, as the beautiful lady through the speakers is telling us that we are ready to go. I am ready, CJ. Are you ready?
I was born ready, my friend. I was born ready. I just want to say also that last season, when SDCK were in the final, they lost the second map to Envision before going on to win Gollywash 3-1 in a very similar style. So they're used to finishing a third map on Gollywash in a grand final, and the first kill of this final map is going to go to Mezzo as he takes down RoboProd.
Exactly, Nadia is now sneaking in. He's gonna get a nice stab onto Poker, opening the middle ground basically for the red team here. Feila eSports strongly still alive and doing quite well. Gedu needs to get that more heals going on, even though now Feila is just crashing on that wall of steel again. 3 players alive on the side of red. Jekyll is caught out of guard here. RoboProd just picks himself a nice little easy kill on the enemy soldier, and now Feila 100% on her medigun, 100% onto Gedus as well, and they have a good position to defend second. They need to Uber in, they're maybe able to get the force out, they do, but now with all the players on the lower ground, it's going to be difficult for them to get back. And look at this, they're just moving in. Well, they're trying to move in, but they are now forfeiting the second point, CJ, and will have to defend last. Feila eSports on their back foot.
Yeah, I mean, interesting choice for them to use an Uber on defense there that aggressively. This is where we start to see a bit of a stalemate, and this is where the snipers and the spies come into play. They can get those hero picks onto the medics and make something happen. But being Highlander, just because you have a full Uber advantage, pushing into last or pushing out from last is not a guarantee you're actually going to get a lot of stuff done. You need to be precise, you need to cover all the angles, you need to focus the right things. And right now, the pressure is on SDCK to make sure they get something done. It looks like they want to go through water here, and they take down Kazarok. This is going to be an Uber in from River. They're flashing in a lot of people. RoboProd jumps onto the balcony. Middle's gone down to a backstab. They've lost Nubby in this exchange, and I do think SDCK are going to have to back out here. But they've lost Joe as well, and it may be difficult for them to try and push out.
Yeah, 2 very strong classes. The anchors of that team are gone. Now going in the point is Mezzo, but he's going to be caught off guard there by RoboProd and Lily. Now the red team is moving on top of the balcony. They'll be able to maybe reclaim themselves the second point without too much pressure. Joining UFC is now moving in to, well, support the rest of the team. May and Clark behind, but Joe UFC is going to be able to catch them off guard. Maybe, yes, he will. 2 easy pickups for Joe and UFC himself, and now both medics on equal Ubers, about 50, halfway there. Moving on to the middle point from the garage is Feila eSports. Huge jump, but Carpi just on top of Kazarok, and he's on top of Gedu as well. Gets the medic down. Oh,
that is so huge. I told you he needed a turn. He gets another one. He's on 5. He takes down Jackie Legs as well. SDCK are reeling. Yahoo runs in there to try and get something done, but he just gets made mincemeat out of by middle. Carpi with 5 kills, make that 6 kills as he takes down Clark. There's a back cap going on as May is actually drawing attention back. He's not actually got the back cap, but it brought enough players back that is slowing Feila down. And SDCK have a little bit of time to breathe here because Carpi has just torn them a new one.
Oh, but I was just saying that Carpi's tearing a new one. Mezzo's doing exactly the same thing, and Layla goes down like that with the cold steel between her ribs. He goes down, and Dreamy is the one to clean her up. But that's just not happening for either medic. They're not living long enough to see their Ubers happen. Gedu 50% on his charge. Layla just respawning. Poker is just completely paranoid right now because T-Bird and Nadia are just dropping from the sky like nobody. And now Dreamy finally reuniting with the medic. Layla now finally building that uber charge. Carpi is scoped in. Oh, he's so dangerous on this map. You need to be watching out for that red dot because your head is about to be taken away. Look at this! He's not afraid!
I just want to say, right here and now, I was playing CSGO with Carpi the other day, and he only got 4 more kills than me, so clearly I'm like, you know, nearly that good. He gets another one! He's on an 8-shot streak! But Nubby! Oh, just all the good work from Carpi is just removed as Nubby with the sticks takes down Layla, just destroy... Carpi gets a kill, and then SDCK just get like 6. He just returns in kind plus like 20, and Kazarok finally ends this killing spree of Carpi. Poker ends Middle's 5k as well, and SDCK maybe now are just calming down and mumble a little bit and just saying, all right guys, let's breathe. We have Uberad, we have mid. Let's play this properly.
Absolutely insane showing for both teams, and I can definitely see that the fatigue is slowly setting in. Carpi now popping off. He's the one who's activated, and Kazarok is a little bit down here. The energy levels are low. It needs a little bit of a refill with that gamer juice probably. Join UFC. Oh, he catches Kazarok off guard, as I was saying. He's going to be able to set up yet another sticky trap onto last. All teams, well, sans Kazarok are up on the battlefield. Jumping through is Mezzo, looking for a sneaky backstab, backcap. Moving in, the Uber charge has gone down. Gedu, now Layla hasn't got hers just yet. Jackie Legs cleans her off like that, jumping onto the point. So many people dead for both teams. 2v2 right now. Jackie Legs is spamming, but he's so low. Middle on 155 HP. Saves the point, saves the team, and saves the dream, CJ.
Jackie Legs almost did that all by himself, just jumping in late there on a 6k, kills 3 of them on the point, finally takes down Lily, but Middle, the only person left alive in the server, kills him and saves it. And you know what, if it wasn't for Jackie there, Feila could have probably pushed out and they would have had an Uber advantage. But so he got the medic, he got the kills on the point, and it's meant that Feila are now on last. It's an equal Uber situation. Let's rewind like 5 minutes. This is where we were before it all went wrong for SDCK when they tried to push in last time. And like I said, it doesn't matter even if you have an Uber advantage on this map. Pushing into last is nowhere near a guarantee because you need to make sure you're shooting the right things, you're positioned correctly. And a kill there onto Robopro from Kazarok might open things up for a bit of aggression from one of his other teammates.
Just rotating right now as his position was given away by that kill. Roboprod is about to rejoin, so not much has happened in that time when he was down, and probably not a very important pick. Mezzo is now sneaking behind the enemy team. He's decloaking right now, and a headshot from Kazarok takes down the medic. And we get a 100% charge at the ready. They can just push at any time now. Kazarok's moving in. The rest of the team just waiting out like, what do we do? What do we do? We don't know. We weren't prepared for this headshot. And now the heavy middle is just looking for a sneaky kill. He doesn't get an Uber charge coming out, chasing down everybody. Join UFC panicking right now, putting those stickies on that point. Yahoo as well, just trying to push everybody. And there he goes. First point of this game goes to the way of SDCK after a lengthy exchange.
What did I say? Kazarok gets the kill onto Roboprod because Roboprod wasn't up. Nobody was watching balcony. No soldier, no defense on balcony. He's able to walk in there, take the free shot. Funny thing about Joe's stickies on main there, he dated the stickies on the Uber players, and that just launched Yahoo and May closer to him on the point. It basically gave him like a speed onto the second mid now, but SDCK are going to be feeling really happy with it. Jackie, so aggressive, gets some damage onto Carpi, but doesn't kill him. And this time, SDCK not looking in position. They may have to back out here.
They actually are losing a few too many people that they've bargained for. Carpi is still on absolute fire as he takes down the Pyro, still moving in. And, well, Gedu is getting the Uber charge ready. Joy UFC jumping behind enemy lines. No, Gedu is locked behind. Oh, no, he just cannot escape. And Joy UFC is just toying with the medic. And he goes down. Thanks to Carpi this time around. Johnny FC wasn't even bothered at just aiming at the medic. He was just toying with that medic's life. And that is just absolute BM. Jackie Legs trying to recuperate the loss. Takes down Johnny UFC, who was just prancing a boot with a head full of eyeball. Just one. And then Adia is moving in as well, looking for some kills. So far, so good. There's a little bit of a slowdown, but Feila are furious.
Because of the fact that they killed Joe, this has bought SDCK a little bit of time to get themselves in position, get played. You got Poker and Nubby playing in water, and that's where Feila are going to go. Layla drops! Kazarok again, his second drop of the game, takes down Layla just as she was crossing through river, and that's going to allow SDCK to clean those kills up in the water. It's Nubby versus, Dreamy versus Yahoo there. And the Scout's not going to win that fight. 60% for Gedu. SDCK want to push out here. There's always the threat of a back cap. That's why Clark's got his sentry on last. But SDCK still not quite with the Uber. Middle's lurking.
Ooh, whoa, newbie. Yeah, takes down middle. Oh, Roboprod gets a reconciliation prize in the form of newbie. Nicely done there by the soldier. Jackie Legs is kind of scoping out the area. And second point still on cap, jumping onto Carpy, taking down the sniper. Jackie Legs still on the prowl with that black box of his. Chasing away the red soldier. Roboprod is just moving back. The point's gonna get conceded by the red team, and they don't have that Uber charge ready yet. Ooh, the spy coming in, but doesn't get the stab here. Gets away with life. Nope, Meza finally going down. UFC doing a lot of damage in that choke point, but 100% onto Gedu. Only 85 on Layla. That could be very clutch.
Yeah, they take down Roboprod there. I think if Roboprod hadn't died, maybe they would have wanted to go for a force there or something, possibly with him. But it's basically going to be sniper v sniper at the choke at the moment. Carpy versus Kazarok. See who's getting the kill, and Kazarok does take down Carpy, and that's going to give Poker and Nubby a license to go forward. T Borden is going to get killed as a result, and this is what happens with no sniper. It gives Kazarok so much more space and his teammates the ability to run forward. Joe goes forward and they actually get the force. And are they going to... Oh, I don't know, because the game paused.
It's a bit of an awkward situation to pause, but obviously there are about 90 seconds in the future, which means that we are not seeing the situation they've paused in. I'm not sure what's happened, but it gives us time to deconstruct what's going on, CJ, and what is going on right now is an absolute mayhem of Kazarok and Carpy just trying to edge each other out. And we see Jackie Legs versus Roboprod just basically having a battle of a century between two soldiers who can get more kills and who can be more arrogant in their plays. And then you have Newbie and Joe in UFC just kind of popping pills into each other as well. It's just like, it's so balanced in so many ways that that difference of 1 point between SDCK right now is not really playing that much of a role. They do have quite a bit of time left on the clock, and Feila can still get back into this.
Absolutely. Like, you know, it's still well over the half of the game to go. You know, they just did win that second mid quite comfortably. But again, it's, you know, it's these clutch moments where they had a huge Uber advantage. They didn't even get to use the Uber because later dropped to that headshot from Kazarok. So Kazarok coming up big, just like Carpy was in the previous round. But so far, I mean, you could say that Kazarok's drop onto her in the first round helped them win the round, and that could have helped save them the round. And again, sniper v sniper in the choke, he gets the kill onto Carpy, and that opens up the fact that Poke is able to kill down T Borden with no pyro to deny. There's so much space being taken. Joe tries to get aggressive. They get forced earlier. Gedu has an Uber advantage. It's just like, it's like a chess game. You move your pieces, and once you've taken out certain pieces from the game, other pieces can then come into play and have more of an effect. And that's the thing about Highlander. You know, one class isn't going to dominate all the time, but once one class does something, it allows the rest of your team to do other things as well. Talking about that on the flank at the moment, you can see May, Clark, and Jackie Legs just seeing if they can get any space. Lily is kind of alone here as the pause stops. Poker is getting in deep here, takes down middle. And like I said, Lily was left alone in mid door, gets rushed by Clark and Jackie and gets taken down. Joe actually gets killed by the bottle of Nubby. And yeah, mid is going to go down to SDCK here.
Yeah, they managed to kind of solidify their control of it. T-Bird and Carpy still, well, respawning. Oh, Jackie Leg's gonna catch a couple of bullets for his trouble. Dreamy, nice footwork there, taking down Newbie, working on to May. And he stays alive as well, doing quite well. Ooh, Roboprod getting get slammed by Clark in the backline as well, so no more soldier shenanigans coming out of Feila eSports. Joining UFC is going to rejoin the team shortly after, and they may still be able to reclaim this middle point for themselves. Both medics should have Ubers at roughly the same time. Highlander joining middle, who is now walking forward, forging his way forward as well. Mezzo is behind the enemy lines. He may be able to get a stab onto the medic. Oh, he's gonna get a stab on the sniper. That's good enough. Trying to do high noon stuff onto the medic. Layla's so low. He's gonna go down. That's unfortunate.
That is just... I I don't understand. I'm not sure what Feila were trying to do there when they had such a huge disadvantage. Were they trying to, like, Navi with the spawn camp takes down Carpi and Joe straight away. The Uber's going to be used on last. The rest of the kills are going to be cleaned up. I have no idea why they pushed in there. Like, there's no Ubers in play. Like, they just tried to dry push Gully Wash mid in Highlander with their entire team, and then they all die. And they basically just hand around to SDCK because SDCK keep their medic alive and just push on to last and win it. 2-0 to SDCK. And Feila have got a bit of a hill to climb right now.
Is a hard situation to be in right now for Feila. There's a lot of time left, to be honest, but it's a very difficult situation to do. And now, huge jump by RoboProd, taking out his counterpart. Gonna get cleaned up himself as a result. Dreamy there, cleaned up Yahoo. Newbie going down. Carpi working on the melee, but not managing to get Mezzo trying to finish off the kill. He gets Layla in the end. There's only 3 players up, 2 players up for the red team. T-Bird is still alive. He's gonna have to deal with May, and there's a heavy weapons guy in the big door. Looks like Feila are going to back away. Kazarok is not to be trifled with when it comes to long-range battles. And Middle is just gonna walk into the sideline, tag the shot from his team, but another one is gonna do the job as Kazarok takes him down. Working on another one, he does! Gen UFC actually, with the help of a mini-sentry from Clark, taking down Joe. And Feila is just losing the steam. They're losing the power they had in those previous rounds, and they're 2 points down already. They need to find it again. They need to put in some more coal into the burner, CJ.
Yeah, I mean, Kazarok there with some great headshots. You know, when you're talking about defending your medic, generally you think of a combo class, or maybe I'm looking at Clark actually. He's got the Frontier Justice, and they're going in. Is it the Frontier Justice? Has he got crits? Yeah, he's just laying out damage. A reflect pipe from Yahoo's going to take down, I mean, that's pretty much a wipe there. Carpi's the last one alive, and that's going to be a very quick 3-0. Something I was going to point out on that mid-fight, because Gedu survived, right, it was still about 4v4 for quite some time, but everyone on Feila had about 50 or 60 HP. Everyone on SDCK did as well, but because they kept their medic alive, he was able to heal them up, and when the suicides came in to try and get him, his team were able to just defend him very, very aptly. But it looks like Feila are going to go for a really aggressive mid here. Carpi takes down May straight away, and they've actually taken their opponent's side. And SDCK are locked in elbow here. This is not looking good for them.
This is definitely looking very, very rough for Feila, but they do manage to win this middle fight. There are only 2 players up for SDCK. They've done it before. They may do it again. They still are in this situation. They just need to get this steam ball rolling, get on the choo-choo train, and keep on going forward. Layla now has a very nice toasty advantage over Gedu, who is just now respawned. Jimmy's finishing off the cap. Oh no, but he's not! Jackie Legs! What are you doing there, my man? Nobody's capping the middle point, which means the second point is not locked, and it's just gonna be a situation for them. RoboProd jumping, that was a bit of an MGE going between Jackie and RoboProd. Both of them were been pretty but Carpe is in there, just puts a stop to the fun the soldiers were having, finally managing to cap the point, but it lost them precious seconds.
They bought them so much time. Look at the Ubers right now. Gedu's at 75%. By the time Feila even get into position to push, he may well have his Uber. They just lost RoboProd to Nubby Stickies there. So, you know, if Feila are smart, they'll think, hang on a minute, it's probably equal Ubers by now because we took so long. They're actually trying to cross over river again. Last time this happened, Layla dropped, but she doesn't. She uses in through river this time. The counter Uber is there, and they're all playing on floor. This is not ideal for either team, but Dreamy goes down, so there's going to be a lot of cap potential out of the way. Jackie Legs, 1 rocket, 2 kills, takes down the sentry as well for good measure. And SDCK hold this. Not sure if they're going to want to push out. Looks like they do want to push out, Jake. They just want to get this over and done with.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have much to lose right now. Jackie Legs chasing after Layla. He's going to catch a few bullets for his trouble. And Layla on 40% on the side of Gedu as well. They've been pushed out of the lobby, but they're not pushed out of this game just yet. Mezzo there in the back line trying to cause some trouble. He's going to activate that Dead Ringer, seeing a resurgence in the meta. Jimmy gonna get caught off by Newbie, who is just going to celebrate as usual. Classic Newbie there, and then Joe just chasing him away from the river area. Once again, Feila eSports are on the offensive, and parking the bus are SDCK.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, they don't need to do anything. 3 rounds to the good. They can just wait for Feila to try and sack people in, make a mistake. If they try and push out now, it's extremely hard to push out from Gully Watch last. in Six's Highlander, especially when it's equal Ubers. So now it's all about them waiting for Feila to try and do something here, and maybe making a mistake, but they're trying to edge Carpi in here through the river. They're just trying to get them a little bit of space to see if we get a pick onto someone important. And Gedo is trying to stay out of those sidelines, closer to the shut door. And the Ubers are actually just going to be used here onto last. Again, a river push. Their exchange poker's gone down, but Layla gets headshot by Kazarok. Carpi's cleaned up. So many kills coming in here. Only person who died from that Uber for SDCK was Polska, and that means SDCK again are going to try and push out.
Yeah, the time is running out. We're a little bit past halfway there. Roboprod behind the medic, however, will be able to get 1 rocket, 2 rockets, and it's enough before he goes down. And Geru is down for the count, allowing Feila to stabilize themselves and maybe even hold the middle point. Oh, but Carpi has such a good sideline. Taking down 2, and he's looking for more as well. No medic to kill, but there's plenty of other blue guys on the other team that you can shoot, buddy. And he's doing just that. jakeowaty FC now going back on the second point. Those 2 kills were enough to reclaim that point for Feila, and Carpi yet again showing what we can do.
Uber advantage now for Feila. It's slim, Jake. It's slim. We're talking like 10% slim. They kind of want to be in position to just go for a point play with this Uber perhaps, and make sure they're in position to use it straight away. Kazarok's gone down as well, so they can even go through river into water without having to worry. And a backstab from Agi takes down Jackie Legs. That means there's no soldier. This is really good for them. Polska's also gone down. This is not looking good for SDCK. They're bleeding players. There is 100%. Layla uses it. She gets forced there. Geddy's only at 76%. Doesn't have the charge. I think this is going to be around on the board for Feila again. Yeah, SDCK had time to build the Uber there, but they fed a few players. And that's led to Feila getting around now. And with, what, 11 minutes left on the clock, there's still time for more rounds yet.
The comeback is happening, ladies and gentlemen. They're doing this. They're trying to keep the dream alive, and they're still alive in it as well. Joe and UFC now gonna be quite quicker than the other team. Spamming out the choke already. A lot of damage being exchanged. Joe is still alive too. Kazarok's gonna go in, and a nice headshot, and that is on Layla. Somehow, somewhere, that bullet finds a path straight to the medic's head. No more medic for the side of Feila. Seems that SDCK got upset about the recent showing in the last round, and now they are going full force, full throttle, steam ahead.
Yeah, this is just the cleanup crew now. They finish off the players, and it's almost like the previous mid, where Feila killed everyone, including the medic. But this time it's been done to them. Roboprod is in position to maybe go for a sack, but no, Carpi is in river. He might get a sideline onto Gedu. I'm not sure if someone's told Gedu because he's taking flares. Kazarok actually gets the headshot onto Carpi, so that is dealt with, and Kazarok then kills Roboprod, another player trying to go for Gedu's life. But this Uber advantage now. Agi gets rumbled there in lobby, gets found out by May, and again we're looking at a river push here, Jake.
It's gonna be going straight in. Layla is nowhere near her Uber charge. Cleanup crew from SDCK coming in. Jacket is gonna try to chase everyone around. Layla is still alive though, not anymore. 3 players up for the red team. Middle is alive. Roboprod trying to keep the dream alive, but I don't think he will be able to. Nice rock under to Clark, missing the second. Needs to go for the third one, but that's not gonna be enough, as 4-1 currently the score says for the side of SDCK. 10 minutes left on the clock, and it is just a race against it. SDCK doing whatever they can and whatever they want right now, and for what, you know, with what they can do right now is just park the bus, but I don't think that's what's gonna happen. SDCK just want to run this game into the actual point.
Best defense is an offense, man. The best defense is offense. Yeah. Again, Feila, they're taking the opposite side, and actually it's been mirrored by SDCK, so you know, they've kind of been like, hey, we saw what you were going to do. We've done it ourselves. Nappy's gone down. Bezo with the Layla backstab. Dominating. There's a lot of kills coming in the other way, and I do think it's going to be a wipe here for Feila.
They lost Layla, but they pretty much got everyone in exchange, so I do believe
that's going to have an advantage, because Layla died very early, which means Gedu's on the second spawn wave, which means that they should have about a 20% advantage. So again, you know, with the amount of time left on the clock, we're talking like 9 minutes to go here, they need to play off of these small margins. 30% is going to be the ad. That's more than enough to get into position and do something like they did previously. And again, you know, they may get around on the board here, and there still is time for them to get back into this final.
Oh, but Kazarok is there, making sure Join UFC doesn't see the last points push. Taking him out of the equation. Mezzo is just doing some happy feet wombo come on Dreamy, but Dreamy is just actually taunting after killing the spy. So BM going both ways. Well, last point already was Adie putting a lot of time on it and putting a lot of sweat on the back of SDCK as well while at it. They have that 100%, but they're just sitting on it, waiting for Joe to unite with them. Gedu is on 85. Ibate has his Uber charge. Senshi finally has been destroyed by Carpi. Moving in, and a headshot to the dome! Goes down. The Gedu is down for the count. No more medic. Now they're just pushing in. There's nothing holding them back, and Feila needs that point.
They do get a pack stab onto Joe, though. That slowed them down. Carpi's gone down. Dreamy's gone down. There's a lot of cap potential and damage out of the way, and SDCK somehow could be doing this. Gedu has respawned, and he does go down. Roboprod there manages with the rocket from the grave to take down the medic, but that was just so messy. What happened there, Jake?
I have no idea. They had everything going for them. There was no medic. I think they got a little bit too overconfident, and as a result, they paid the ultimate price. Mezzo just doing shenanigans there, taking the soldier down to 82 HP, but it was not enough to get rid of him. Now moving in from behind is Feila eSports, making sure that the lobby area is locked down for sure. Both medics equal. Carpi still working hard on those headshots, but Layla's gonna get burned down, and so is Carpi. Yahoo doing work. Now people are just being thrown onto the point, trying to get this one capped, and T-Burn is gonna sneak through. Oh, he's been spotted. He's gonna try to run away, but there's a sniper there, and it's Kazarok moving in, going for the medic. Go! Gedu goes down, burned down to the crisp. And point is still up for contestation as time's running out.
This just plays into SDCK's hands. They're absolutely happy for things to go this way. They don't care if they're going to keep trading medics like this. They're just chipping away the time. They know that it's so hard to push this last point, you know, if you don't have coordination. And because they keep losing their medic, Feila eSports aren't being able to actually push this with any sort of advantage. And, you know, they're not going in for coordinated sacks. They're not going in for coordinated plays. They're just sending bodies in over and over. Carpi then just walks in on balcony and takes down Gedu. He gets another med pick. And again, they need to keep their medic alive now to try and get something done. Joe and Layla are the only ones alive in River.
No.
And Mezzo gets her.
Mezzo just absolutely disrespecting, and both of them going down with a little bit of help from Kazarok. That could have been it. That could have been the spelling, you know, like thing that would work for Feila eSports, and yet again Mezzo sinks his knife into her back and stopping Feila from pushing and advancing. Now Robo probably a lot of trouble with May, and May is gonna pick himself an easy kill there in the river, and still holding on to this point is SDCK, capping themselves the second as well with the time running out. I said just time as it's running out, it's going to be more and more pressure on Feila eSports.
It just keeps happening, Jake. It just keeps happening. I mean, there's only so many opportunities you can give. Like, you got to think of these players. You know, Agi and Carpi, Roboprod, these guys have been doing these big plays and getting the med picks, getting the openings. And if they're doing that, then you've got to count on your combo to actually deliver on, you know, the present. You've given them a present. You've said to them, hey, combo, here's an Uber advantage. But if you keep losing your medic, then it doesn't matter. SDCK Ubering in onto mid now, and they're actually coming through big door. They actually rotate around. Middle there actually is going to get a bunch of kills. Layla is currently in choke with Roboprod.
Oh, not for much longer. Oh, she does survive. Barely, though. Didn't pop
just
either.
Regroups with middle, yeah. So Feila are being very optimistic here, but I think they have to be at this point. You know, there's 3 minutes, sorry. There's 3 rounds they need to get, and there's only 4 minutes to go. They need to start taking these risks.
Yeah, and there's not much time. And with not much time, you just go all in. You have nothing to lose at that point. And you just have to go, otherwise you're just gonna get another second place medal. And they have that Uber charge ready. Giddy only in 50. Lobby is locked it down, but moving away is SDCK. Uber's coming on early, only level 1 by Clark. Medic's gonna get locked down. Yahoo down for the count. So is the Medic. Clark is gonna go down as well. That's an easy cleanup crew for Dreamy, who's not gonna get on the point. Heavy down for the count as well. Dreamy is just going absolute madness there, surviving for such a long time. Only 2 players up, and finally Feila gets themselves a second point in this game with 2 more to go to equalize this and only 3 minutes left. Can they do this, CJ? Do you believe?
No. I mean, can they do it? Of course. I mean, it's physically possible for them to do it, okay? It's mathematically they can get 2 rounds. Realistically, are they going to totally wipe them 2 rounds in a row and have, pixel perfect pushes? Probably not. I think, they're smarter than that. And Kazarok getting a kill onto Joe there is going to slow them down big time. They are actually winning this SDCK, and if they win this mid-fight and just turtle it up, it's going to make it so easy for them. Karpi goes down there. Kazarok's actually dominating now. And he gets Layla for good measure. He takes out a third of the team by himself. He takes down another. Kazarok just like, you know what? I'm just going to finesse the end of this round now. I'm going to finesse the end of this match because at the moment, it does look like SDCK are going to be defending their title.
Yeah, it seems that in the chat, which our actual chat on Twitch does not see, is that basically what happened is Feila is kind of acknowledging the fact that they just cannot win this and they're just going to play for the logs. Noobie's going to catch himself with T-Burden and his, signature taunt into the ceiling. Dreamy's going to go down as well. Jackie Legs is going to get caught off by Joe and UFC, and now moving in with the Uber charge is Newbie. SDCK on aggressive mode. 4 players up for the red team. Layla's going to get caught off by Newbie, who's now just going to go ham on the enemy team and take himself as many kills, as many players as he can. 2 players up for the side of red. Joe and UFC still alive. RoboPro is going to go down as well. Just mayhem on the last point. Sound of a cool rock band, but the point has been capped. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe this is it.
Jake, do you think they can? Okay, no, I'm not going to ask you. Clark there with the fist kill. Just thought I'd point that out. He gets a little punch there with the gunslinger right at the end. You know, just getting things done.
Yeah,
getting things done.
All in day's work.
60 seconds to go. We can talk about, plans for the summer because this is just dead time now, Jake. There is nothing Feila can do to stop the inevitable. Karpi takes down Jackie.
I'm just gonna enjoy. You know what?
Yeah, just enjoy the frags.
Yeah, let's just enjoy the frags for now. Kazarok gonna get himself a nice Layla pick there. Gonna catch himself a rocket for his trouble and a nice Karpi pick. Onto Kazarok. I'm gonna look for some more kills. Basically sniper battle from now on because this map is so wide. SDK has fallen down basically, and Feila capping the second point. They may still actually get 1 more point should SDK just not really give too much. Gedo is just spamming arrows onto the point by himself. Newbie has a nice sticky trap. Will be able to catch somebody, of course. He does get 2 there. Karpi and Jordan UFC going down the side of Newbie. Now Adia, oh no, that's a Brass Beast being spun up. Adia is decloaking on the point, gets a stab. Another one doesn't really work out. Poker, the Brass Beast is gonna splant himself on the point. 1 second to go, and there it goes, ladies and gentlemen. SDCK are your winners of 20th season of Highlander on ETF2L, with Feila eSports getting the 2nd place. Well done. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like we have these finals, don't we? We have these finals where there's a big favorite and there's a team that, could potentially cause an upset. And invariably, it goes to 3 maps. Last season it did as well. SDCK in a similar position, having to seal it out on Gullywash, but they did it again. SDCK probably came into that first round feeling a little bit worried. After losing Badwater, and then things started to go a little bit pear-shaped on the first round of Gully. But I think once they got up to 2-0 up, that was it. Like, it was just... They didn't cruise, but Feila had to put in that extra 20%, and they just didn't have anything left in the bank.
Very true. It was just... I think at the very end, what really won the game was the energy levels and perseverance. You saw Karpi and Kazarok popping off. I mean, this is a very sniper-friendly map. You could definitely see that Layla has sort of started losing concentration, and so was Gedu. Both of those medics were dying quite often to the most easy sightlines and easy bombs by soldiers. So definitely that fatigue started playing a much larger role with classes that didn't really like or don't use as much concentration, more like muscle memory, and were able to sort of prevail a little bit longer. And those were the classes that just kind of started popping off at the very end. You know, the spy, the sniper. Those are the classes you're gonna be watching out for in a long gauntlet. But ultimately, SDCK edging themselves a win. Quite well, they deserve that. They really did play a very good game. They didn't make too many mistakes. And Feila eSports, however, you have to say that win over on Badwater was just it was something I never would have expected to happen, and I'm really happy it did.
Yeah, I mean, it went to a third map and gave us more Highlander.